So hey guys, this is your favorite vortex. So in this video, we will see what if Naruto had power of monsters and gods. But before we start, remember to subscribe and like this video. Now let's start. The Valley of the End. This valley stands as a reminder of the once great battle that took place there years ago. Senju Hashirama, clan head to the once great Senju clan, Shodai Hokage and founder to Konoha, and Uchiha Madara, clan head to the once great Uchiha clan and co-founder to Konoha. Their battle created the battlefield that is taking place to two people that are unknowingly following their path. Uzumaki Naruto, the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko, and Uchiha Sasuke, one of two of the last living Uchiha, are fighting in the very same valley. They have been rivals for years, but over the last few months that rivalry has been becoming out of hand. Always arguing with one another, always starting fights with one another. Naruto always wanting to prove he is a somebody and not like the pariah like he was treated like. Sasuke wanting power to kill his older brother, Uchiha Itachi. It all started when they took the Chunin exams. During the second part of the exam, they were attacked by one of the legendary Sannin, Orochimaru, the White Snake. Orochimaru gave Sasuke the cursed seal of heaven to take over his body. When Sasuke saw that Naruto was becoming stronger, but he felt weaker, deciding to defect from Konoha to find Orochimaru and become stronger. The sound for following Orochimaru's order to bring Sasuke to him. During their retrieval they're confronted with multiple battles with each of their death till it was only Sasuke waiting for Naruto at the Valley of the End. Standing across from one another. Sasuke with a darker skin tone. Black scaling, long nails giving his hands the look of claws, a marking on the bridge of his nose that stretch across and goes underneath his eyes, a pair of giant hands that are wings. Sasuke normal black hair is now gray. Sasuke stares at Naruto with his fully mature Sharingan. Sasuke does three simple hand seals. Electricity engulfs his left hand. Chidori, yelled Sasuke. Naruto is engulfed in the Kyuubi's chakra, making the stage 1 chakra cloak with a single tail. His three whiskers on each cheek are thicker and darker. His eyes are ruby red and slitted, hair that is wild and spikier than usual. And long nails giving his hands the look of claws. Naruto stretch his right hand out. Chakra spins around in the palm of his hand, forming a perfect sphere. Rasengan, growled Naruto. Sasuke's Chidori darkens, the thousands chipping birds sound becomes muffled. They both stared each other down, canceling everything out, but the noise of the Chidori. Then, both, without any warning, leapt towards each other, thrusting both attacks at each out and colliding. Chidori, Rasengan, shouting Sasuke and Naruto, their chakra flares colliding with each other's. Sasuke rust his fist into Naruto's chest while Naruto swipes his hand across Sasuke's forehead, cracking his headband. The mixed of the two chakra spin around, forming a black sphere that expands, causing the waterfall to clash against it violently. The black sphere bursts into a white light, blinding everything in sight. When the light died down, Sasuke is standing over an unconscious Naruto, just staring at him. The clouds above move slowly, blocking out the sunlight. As soon the sunlight is completely covered, a very downpour soon follows. Sasuke grabs his left shoe, dropping to his knees and coughing up blood. Breathing heavy and pushing his body to his feet. Sasuke leaves Naruto behind. A beautiful woman stands over, staring at him with the love only a mother can have for their child. She kneels down and picks up Naruto. "My little maelstrom," says the woman. Kakashi and Pakun lands on the ground. He single exposed eye widen who was standing in front of him. He couldn't believe what he was seeing, as the woman in front of him died 13 years ago. He lift up his headband to use his Sharingan. Kakashi didn't see any genjutsu cast over him. "Kakashi, why did you teach that boy the Chidori?" asked the woman. Kakashi takes a step back, not knowing what to say. Kakashi wanted to help Sasuke and tried to make him leave the path of an avenger, but still failed. "I'm taking Naruto," says the woman. "What?" a still shocked Kakashi yelled. "I'm taking Naruto and there's not a thing you can do about it," said the woman. Before Kakashi do anything, the woman disappears in flickers of flames. Pakun looks at Kakashi worriedly. He could sense that the woman in front of them was a different level than them and that Kakashi was conflicted. "What do we do now, Kakashi?" asked Pakun. Kakashi just sighs. "We failed. Sasuke got away and his scent is gone because of the heavy rain. Then Naruto has been taken by someone who should be dead. Let's head back to Konoha and report what happened. Maybe Hokage-sama can think of something, or maybe Jiraiya-sama can, says Kakashi. Both Kakashi and Pakun leaves the Valley of the End. What Kakashi didn't know that both the elemental countries were in for a change that no one foresaw. Chiron looks out at the camp that is normally filled with campers, but now it only has those that are year-round campers. The summer ended on a sad note. Percy left to go home and be with his mother. Annabeth went to try and spend time with her father, stepmother, and half-siblings. Grover is on his journey to find the lost god, Pan. But what made Chiron really saw was that Luke went turncoat not just on the camp, but also on the gods. There many things that wish he could have done differently. For one, he'd wished that he could have done something for Luke from turning against Olympus. Tried to see that the gods are very busy and couldn't make much time for their children like they wanted to. Apollo was the only one of the gods that would visit every now and then to see his children. Chiron was glad that Annabeth is trying to mend the bonds with her family. Then there was Percy. He wanted Percy to stay and become a year-round camper to train him personally. Try and give Percy an edge for not if, but when he fights against Luke. As Chiron made his rounds, he arrived at the dining pavilion. The year-round campers arrived for lunch just as the dryads walk out of the trees. The naiads came up from the canoe, and the satyrs came from the meadows. The old trainer looks at several of the campers, Clarice LaRue being one of the few of Ares' kids that stay year-round. Charles Beckendorf being the only child of Hephaestus that's year-round. Travis and Connor Stroll being the new consular after Luke became a turncoat. Selena Beauregard and two other of Aphrodite's children. Lee Fletcher from Apollo. Katie Gardner and Miranda Gardiner from Demeter, to only to name a few. Chiron watches and wonders what the coming years will foretell, with the great prophecy coming to play. But he also wonders about the prophecy that about the floating island of Delos. Now that brings back memories. The island that Gaia herself blessed and enchanted to always be one with nature. She even went as far to plant the tree of life there. But where there is life, there is also death. Because of the tree of life is there, so is the tree of death. Chiron quickly banished those thoughts. The hearth that is in the center of the dining pavilion spiked became 3 times its normal size. The flames spit out a 13-year-old injured boy. Chiron gallops over to the boy and checks the boy's injuries. The aged centaur examines the wounds. None aren't life-threatening, but the gaping hole in the boy's chest has him worried. Take the boy to the big house, order Chiron. Clarice and Lee runs over, picks up the boy and quickly heads to the big house. Chiron let his mind wanders, thinking of every possible question and answer to what caused that wound. What caused the boy to fly out of the hearth? Who is this boy? But what made him really think is who is the boy's parent? Chiron takes a glance at the hearth before galloping to the big house. Clarice and Lee ced towards the big house as the boy she is carrying to bleeding out all over her. Clarice questions what kind of fight caused these kind of injuries. From the looks of it his clothes are burned, but there aren't any burn wounds on his skin. They quickly got inside and into the infirmary. Clarice put the boy on one of the beds. Lee now has a better look at the boy and quickly thinking of a possible younger brother. But quickly banish those thoughts for now. The son of Apollo has some difficulty cutting the orange jumpsuit the boy is wearing to properly clean the wounds, but still manages to cut through it. What do you need? Questioned Clarice. I need you to get ambrosia and nectar, and a gorgon's eye, says Lee as he tries to stop the bleeding. Clarice quickly grabs ambrosia, nectar, and Lee's strange request for a gorgon's eye. She came back, hands all the items to Lee. Lee grabs a nearby spoon, pours the nectar in it and spoon feed the boy. The son of Apollo rubs the boy's throat, causing him to swallow the nectar. Lee takes the gorgon's eye. My father, Apollo, take this gorgon's eye as an offering to heal this boy's wounds, prays Lee. The gorgon's eye burst in sparkles of light that fall onto the boy's wounded chest, healing the wound, but leaves a scar the size of a fist. Lee sighs at the sight of the scar. Now that Lee has time to actually look at the boy. The blonde IR makes him wonder if he has a new little brother, but then Apollo would have claimed him as soon he appeared. Apollo is known to claim all his children when they arrived at camp, just like Aphrodite and Demeter. Chiron wheels into the infirmary sitting in his magical wheelchair. He sighs in relief. The aged trainer wheels over to get a better look at the boy. I see everything went fine, said Chiron. Yes, everything went fine. Though his clothes were difficult to cut through, but I manage, says Lee. That's good. Chiron looks at the two demigods. Why don't you two go and get clean up and eat something? I'll have Argus to watch over our new guest, says Chiron. Both of them leave the infirmary. Chiron turns his head to the boy. Chiron has so many questions running through his mind again. So many questions and so few answers. The one thing he did realize is this boy is from the island of Delos. Which means one of the gods have broken another forbidden law. In order for any of the gods to have children from the island of Delos, they have to file the paperwork. The last one to have a child there was Aphrodite, and that was 37 years ago. Chiron wasn't like this one bit. First Percy Jackson was the child of Poseidon, which he believed the great prophecy. Now this boy is most likely the one the prophecy said about the island of Delos. Sigh, what am I going to do with you, my boy? Questions Chiron. The next day the camp was stirring with the new arrival. Mr. D was called to Mount Olympus. Lee was checking up on the mysterious boy. There was really nothing for Lee to do for the boy. I wished Will was here. He'd know what to do, said Lee. Lee looks over and see that Argus watching over the boy. Last evening the boy's jumpsuit was taken off along with the headband. During it they found an empty pouch and a leg casing that housed several strange knives, and can't forget the funny-shaped toad wallet. When morning came a blue scroll was next to the sleeping boy. When Chiron tried to open it his hand was burned. How is he? Asked Chiron. Lee nearly jumped out of his skin from Chiron sneaking up on him. Chiron just chuckles at the son of Apollo. Lee put his chest to calm his heart down. He's fine just sleeping for now. The scar is another thing. Usually when a blessed healing is done there is no scars remaining, says the confused Lee. Chakra, says Chiron as he stares at the electrical scar. I'm not surprised you haven't heard of it. You heard of the floating island of Delos, correct? Questioned Chiron. Of course, that's the island the Leto had my dad, Apollo and Artemis, answered Lee. Delos has always been special. The people there are able to use something called chakra. Chakra is the combination of spiritual energy and physical energy which gives them powers that can rival half-bloods and even minor gods, said Chiron. Lee's eyes widen. How is that possible? Asked Lee. Don't know. That's been driving Athena crazy because she can't find out how chakra came to be. There are too many theories. But all the gods agree that they should be watched carefully. There is so much war and death on Delos that Thanatos is worshipped heavily over there. Hades hates it because of all the paperwork, said Chiron. Lee chuckles at about the part where Hades hate paperwork. How come there aren't that many half-bloods from Delos then? Asked Lee. Because those that are born half-bloods from Delos are powerful. One of the half-bloods there was a child of Demeter how could grow a whole forest from his chakra allow. The last half-blood then was able to move through space and time. That one was Aphrodite's child. Zeus made it so that any gods wanting to have a demigod from Delos has to file the paperwork, answered Chiron. Do you think I have a new little brother? Asked Lee. No. Chiron takes in the sleeping boy's looks, blonde hair and, Chiron opens one of the boy's eyelids seeing a blue eye. While blonde hair and blue's eyes are common in Apollo's children, he doesn't have the same aura like you or your siblings have, stated Chiron. Then, Lee hesitated. Zeus quietly asked Lee. Possible, but no. Zeus, child. Ren have an aura like the sky or lightning. While I do sense some sky in his aura, it could be because of his chakra. There are too many questions and we won't know till he wakes up, said Chiron. Chiron finished. The boy stirs in his sleep. Naruto rubs his eyes as he sits up. As Naruto looks around and notices that he isn't in the hospital, he notices a man sitting in a wheelchair, a boy who looks to be a few years older than him, and some strange guy with multiple eyes on his hands and face. Watashi no iru Tokoro? Asked Naruto as he looks around the room for the quickest escape route. Japanese, said Chiron. Nani tte ita no. Dono yo ni watashi wa anata o raikai suru koto wa dekamasen kuru. Asked Naruto. My Japanese is a little rusty, but I'll give it a try. Konnichiwa. Ima mo shinpei kudasai. Where wa. Matamo shinkokunadata kiga de anata o mitsuketa. Watashi no name keironda. Anata no name wa nanadezu ka. Said Kairon. Watahi no namiya uzume Naruto desu. Koko wa doko. Answered Naruto. Sat anata wa kyanpuhafubarado ni iru. Chodo one bio o makimasu. Said Kairon. Kairon rolls out of the infirmary. As Naruto waits for Kairon to return, he turns his head to Lee. Of course Lee doesn't know any Japanese to talk to the boy. But before Naruto could ask anything of Lee, Kairon wheeled back in the infirmary. Kairon tossed a coin to Naruto, who caught it. Sat, kor wa kimyo ni kikoaruga. Sono coin o namakomu shiyu to shite iru. Says Kairon. Nani? Shouted Naruto. Sor coin wa watashidachi no gengo de hanashi o suru noryoku o taikyo shimasu. Says Kairon, quickly calming Naruto down. Watashi wa loin de chisoku shinai nodoro ka? Asked Naruto. Kairon chuckles. Anata ga sora o namakomu toki ie, shonen no watashi, anata wa coin de chisoku shimasen. Answered Kairon. Naruto looks at the coin, seeing an owl on one side, then flips the coin of and sees some type of symbol. He questions if it's fuinjutsu. The blonde brings the coin to his mouth and put it in. Soon as he did, the coin on its own went down his throat. Naruto grabs his throat, trying to stop it, but the coin fades away. What the hell, old man? Yelled Naruto between a combination of coughing and shouting. I can understand him. A shocked Lee says, what I gave you was a special coin. When swallowed gives you the ability to speak our language. Reading though. Kairon left open. What happened? Why am I here? Where's Sasuke? How come I'm not in Konoha? Questioned Naruto. I'm afraid I don't have any of those answers. But where we came to check up on you, think morning this scroll was here. Said Kairon. Naruto looks over next to him and see a blue scroll lying next to him. The blonde picks it up, the scroll, and tries to open it. Then Naruto remembers about some scrolls that can only be unlocked by chakra, so he flared his chakra into the scroll and opened it. Kairon just sighed when he saw that. How could he forgot about seals? Naruto put some more of his chakra into the scroll to get the items out of it. A letter, another scroll, and a blue scarf. What are all these? And where did the first scroll come from? Asks Naruto. Naruto, have you heard of the gods? Questioned Kairon. Kami. What does Kami have to do with anything? Asks Naruto. Naruto, you are in a special camp. A camp which only lets special people in, says Kairon. Are you crazy? Naruto asked as he looks around. No, Naruto, you are from the floating island of Delos. But your people call it the elemental countries. Why don't you read the letter before anything else is said? Said Kairon. Naruto gives Kairon a look of disbelief. He started to wonder if he has some of the worst luck by finding weirdos. The blonde picks up the letter and opens it. Dear Naruto, I know this must be strange. Are you to be waking up in a strange place? Even more so when you are asked if you heard of the gods. Now don't think of Kami, but other gods. I want to let you know that you are right now outside of the elemental countries. I know this is hard to believe, but everything is going to be fine. You are with your family now, in a sense. You are now with people that won't look down on you, and forgive me for not being there for you. Please try to keep an open mind to what you're being told too. I can't tell you who I am yet, but know this, I love you, my little maelstrom. Love, Ka-chan. Naruto didn't know what to make of it. First, that he wasn't in the elemental countries, second, that there are gods, third, that he has a family, and finally his mother is alive. He remembers how the villagers would say that he was abandoned because she didn't want a demon child, or that she was some whore. So he'll do what every shinobi, he'll endure. Naruto just sighs. Okay, let's say that I believe you, then what? Asked Naruto. Well, you will be put in cabin 11 till you are claimed by your parent. Which is, Kairon leaves it open, which Naruto catches. My mom, Naruto said quietly. He still is having a hard time believing that his mother of all this time is still alive. That narrows it down a bit. We have you new clothes because your jumpsuit was covered in blood and had 2 gaping holes in it. I better go see if Mr. D is back. Lee here will show you around the camp. says Chiron as he wheels out of the infirmary. Naruto turns his head and looks at the remaining people, or should he say person. During his discussion with Chiron, the guy with the multiple eyes left. Hello, my name is Lee, says the introducing Lee. Hi, I'm Naruto, said Naruto. Get dressed and I'll show you around camp, said Lee. Lee leaves the infirmary, leaving Naruto alone. Now that Naruto is alone, he can now think what the hell is going on. The last thing he remembers is fighting Sasuke at the Valley of the End. They both attacked each other to finish the fight. Now he's in a camp where special people come and there are gods. But none of that matter. He rereads the letter and truly doesn't know what to do. He's happy that his mom is alive and can tell that she loves him, but it raises so many questions. Slapping his cheeks, no use in crying over spilled milk, Datbeo, shouted Naruto before he kicks himself for saying his tick. Naruto jumps out of the bed, glad that he is still wearing his boxers. He looks at the clothes they left for him. Not as tough or durable, but beggars can't be choosers. A pair of simple shorts with extra side pockets, a sweet orange t-shirt with Camp Half-Blood on it with a strange winged horse, and a pair of sandals. Naruto does a double look at the letters. He's ALW. AYS had a difficulty reading because of his dyslexia. When Tsunade tested Naruto, she was pissed that no one ever did anything for him. Tsunade was close to literally ripping the hospital brick by brick. Both Shizune, Jiraiya, and a whole squad of Anbu had to hold her down. After that, the new Hokage shut herself in the records room for 2 weeks. Let's just say the hospital was never the same again. Soon Tsunade sat down with Naruto and taught him ways around his dyslexia. She was happy that his skills in math was good, all thanks to the Ichiraku Tsuki and his daughter Ichiraku Ayame. They even went as far to teach him how to do his taxes when he became a shinobi. Naruto put the new clothes on and saw his headband and necklace on the nightstand next to the bed he was sleeping on. Quickly putting his headband and necklace on. But before Naruto left, he looks at the blue scarf that came out of the scroll. He doesn't know what to make of it. Is it his? Was it his mother's? The blonde his. Itantly picks it up and wraps it out his neck. Warmth fills him as a hug when he did. Wondering if this is what it feels like to be hugged by a parent. Naruto walks out of the infirmary to the waiting Lee. It's about time. For a second there, I thought I was waiting on a child of Aphrodite, said Lee. Aphrodite? Asks a clueless Naruto. I'll explain through the tour. Quickly saying Lee as he waves for Naruto to follow him. They walk through the camp. Lee shows Naruto the strawberry fields, the farmhouse, the archery range, the canoeing lake, the stables, the javelin range, the amphitheater, and the arena. You probably wonder what this place was made for. Well, the gods sometimes leave Olympus and met mortals. We are the results of that. We are half human and half god, i.e. demigod, but we call ourselves half-bloods. Said Lee. So one of our parents couldn't keep it in their pants? Asked Naruto. Lee laughs at that. Yes, you could say something like that. There are different reasons why they hooked up with our parents. But we can't say for what. Athena goes for those who have great minds, Ares goes for strong women, Apollo goes just about for anything, if you catch me drift, just to name a few, said Lee. Naruto shudders at that last part. He knew that relationships back home were kept quiet for several reasons. Some out of fear, others to protect their loved ones from their enemies. And others because it was forbidden. Each of us that comes here learns to fight and protect ourselves till we're older, says Lee. Why? Because the monsters that hunt us don't like it when we're older and are harder to kill. So they target us when we don't have little to no training, answered Lee. Nani? Sounds like the monster's scared, if you ask me, said a confident Naruto. That's if they get here, whisper Lee. Naruto stops when he heard Lee say that. Haku came to the blonde's mind. Even outside the elemental countries, that is still pain. Remember how Haku had to kill his own father because of his Kekkei Genkai. Kakashi even went to tell them that Mizu no Kuni went into a blood purge because of fear, even how Kiri became infamously known as Chigiri no Sato, forcing the students to kill one another to kill their emotions. Naruto catches up with Lee, forgetting about that last part altogether. They arrived where the cabins are located. Each cabin is for each Olympian, said Lee as he shows Naruto each one. So others like us stay in the cabins that are our parents? Asked Naruto. Yes and no. They don't go to the cabins till they're claimed by said parent. Everyone starts out in cabin 11. The Hermes cabin which you'll be staying. The gods are very busy with their duties and can't claim all of us unfortunately, said Lee. That sucks, mutters Naruto. The first cabin is Zeus. The second one is his wife Hera, but she doesn't have any half-bloods for children, stated Lee. Then why build it? Questioned Naruto. Out of respect. She is also known as the goddess of marriage and it isn't her job to cheat. That's Zeus' job, answered Lee. Naruto frowns at that. Back in Konoha cheating wasn't taken lightly. If a shinobi had been caught cheating, not only are they stupid, but dumb. Shinobi make enemies and those enemies hold grudges and are willing to target children of said shinobi. Husband and wife needed to work together and trust each other to protect not just Konoha, but their family. Then cabin 3 which should be empty, but it isn't. The big three, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades took an oath on the river of Styx to never have any more half-bloods. Pose. Idon broken that oath and now he has a son, says Lee. Lee shows Naruto the cabins for Demeter, Ares, Athena, Apollo which was Lee's cabin, Artemis, Hephaestus, Aphrodite, Dionysus, and finally Hermes. This is the end of the tour. You'll be staying here till you are claimed. If you want to learn more about the gods go to cabin 6 and they'll help you out, said Lee. Can I ask you a question? Asked Naruto. Shoot. Well, why does it seem like the camp is empty? Asked Naruto. Because summer ended. Naruto just stares at Lee. What I mean is during the summer it is filled with more campers because they only need a little training to make it outside of here. Those that stay year-round either don't have a home to go back to, or their scent is too strong. If you have any more questions Travis and Connor will help you out, answered Lee. Lee knocks on the door. They both hear objects hitting the floor and some yelling. Travis opens the door looking a little panicked. Connor is running around trying to hide so things. I don't what to know. This here is Naruto, says Lee. Hearth boy. A smiling Travis said. Hearth boy, tilting his head as he asks. It is usually common to give nicknames either for our parents or stuff that we did. You were known as Hearth boy because you came out of the hearth yesterday. Names Travis Stoll, and introducing Travis says. And I'm Connor Stoll, Connor says coming to the door. And we're the Stoll brothers. Both said at the same time. Naruto immediately saw the gleam of pranksters in their eyes. Oh, they were going to get along just fine. Travis and Connor led Naruto in after saying goodbye to Lee. Naruto looks around the cabin, noticing that most of the beds are taken. Sorry about the beds. You see the summer, said Connor. Both Connor and I are counselors for cabin 11. There are sleeping bags in the closet over there, says Travis. Naruto walks over to the closet. He hears both Travis and Connor snicking. Naruto opens the door to the closet and his eyes widen. An avalanche of sleeping bags came crashing down onto the blonde. Now he knows why the Stoll brothers were snicking. Now he knows his first victims. After the avalanche of sleeping bags everyone as the cabin heads towards the dining pavilion. There Naruto see 12 tables in the same formation like the cabin so he quickly put 2 and 2 together and got fish. Naruto's eyes widen when he saw the dryads come out of the trees, naiads coming out of the canoe, and saw satyrs come from the meadows. Dryads, Nalads, and satyrs. Dryads are tree spirits, Nalads are river spirits, and satyrs are some more nature spirits, says Connor as he chuckles at Naruto's expression. Naruto looks around as more and more campers arrive at the dining pavilion. As he watches them, he gets a strange feeling that they were family in a sense. He doesn't know where this feeling came from, but he likes it. Then Naruto nearly has a heart attack when he sees Kirin. Naruto seen some strange stuff when he became a shinobi, but a half-man half-horse he was not expecting. Naruto, my boy. It's good to see you, greeted Kirin. Naruto ignores what Kirin keeping his eyes glued to Chiron's horse body. Kirin notices where Naruto is staring at. Naruto, said Kirin. This snaps Naruto out of his staring. I wasn't staring. Naruto quickly says. I'm used to it. You will be learning about Greek history tomorrow so you'll get used to it soon enough. I wanted to tell you that I have your patch, leg holster, and kunai. You'll get those back tomorrow when you go to the archery range. And with that Chiron prances away. Naruto sits with the rest of Cabin 11. He looks around again to get a better look at some of the other campers. As he did, he notices that they are looking at him. Hearing them say it's Hearth Boy. Yup, he was going to hate that nickname. Chiron gains the attention of the campers. Some of you are wondering about our new guest. Mr. D has yet to return from Mount T Olympus to let us know anything that he has learned, Chiron tells them. Where did he come from? Someone questions from Athena's table. He is from the floating island Delos. That is the same island. That where Leto gave birth to Apollo and Artemis. Now if you have any questions ask him yourselves, but not now. With that let's eat. To the gods, said Chiron. Everyone else shouts, to the gods. Naruto pouted because there was no ramen. There was barbecue venison, different types of fruits, and vegetables. Connor told Naruto to follow them as they went to burn some of their food. The gods like the smell of burnt food. Everyone prays to their cabin, said Connor. When Naruto got to the hearth and put some in the hearth. Thanks for letting me stay, Hermes. Naruto put some more in the hearth. And thanks Mom for letting me know that I have a family, says Naruto. When he put his food in the hearth it grew bigger and burned hotter, before it returned to its normal size. Chiron saw this and begins to try to piece the puzzle together. He's standing to wish that Annabeth was here to think of anything. While it is quiet and peaceful at Camp Half-Blood, the same couldn't be said on top of Mount Olympus. When Naruto made an appearance at the camp, Zeus called all the Olympians to a meeting. Dionysus, what can you tell us of the boy? Order Zeus. The boy was injured when he arrived, Dion. YSUS says as he waves his hand to make an image of Naruto to appear when he first appeared at camp. Apollo whistle, damn, kid got lucky with the hole in his chest. How did he survive? Asks Apollo. C. Chiron order 2 of the campers to take him to the infirmary. I believe it was Cammy and Liam, Dionysus says lazily. Athena shakes her head, most likely one of your kids Apollo. The better question is, who brought him here and why? Questioned Athena. We'll have to summon Thanatos for better questions, said Poseidon. Zeus summons Thanatos to the meeting. As they are waiting for Thanatos, arrive Aphrodite stares at Naruto's image. The hair and eyes remind her of one of her children, but for the life of her, she can't remember. Aphrodite's eyes widened as she remembers that she had a son on Delos 37 years ago. Who became a father just before his death. She searches through her mind trying to remember her grandson's name till it dawns on her. That's Naruto, shouted Aphrodite. You know this half-blood, Aphrodite? Questioned Zeus. Yes, my son Minato was going to become a father just before he died. He named his son Naruto, answered Aphrodite. How did you know that your son was going to be a father? You know the law about Delos, stated Athena. I check in all of my children. Ow. The smile on Minato-chan's face when he learned he was going to be a father. Smiles Aphrodite. Then you know who the mother is. Correct, questioned Athena. Her name was Uzumaki Kushina, but I never felt any divine powers from her, said Aphrodite. Just as the goddess of love finished that Thanatos appears in the meeting hall. The god of death kneels before Zeus. You summoned me, Lord Zeus, said Thanatos. Yes, Thanatos, can you tell us more about this boy from Delos? Questioned Zeus. Yes, his name is Uzumaki Naruto. Genin of Konohagakura no Sato, or better known as Village Hidden in the Leaves. He is the son of the Yondaime Hokage, Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina, the second Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko. Naruto is the third Jinchuriki for the Kyuubi, stated Thanatos. A Jinchuriki, roaring an angry Zeus. Calm down brother. You know how Jinchuriki are treated. We can only hope Konoha hasn't done anything to the poor boy's mind like the other villages, Poseidon says trying to calm his brother down. What type of seal does the boy have? Asked Athena. Mina, to first used the Shiki Fujin to summon me. He then separated the Kyuubi's yin half, then placed it within himself and used Hake no Fuin Shiki on the Kyuubi's yang half to place it in his son, stated Thanatos. Where is Minato's soul now? Questioned Zeus. In my stomach for 100 years. Those how use the Shiki Fujin won't be allowed to enter the underworld for 100 years, stated Thanatos. Quote, Can you take Minato out so he can tell us why he sealed the Kyuubi in his own son? Asks Aphrodite. I can only do it for a short time, so make sure you ask all the questions that you need to, otherwise you'll have to wait for another 87 years, stated Thanatos. The god of death doesn't wait to be ordered to pull Minato's soul out of his stomach. When Minato appeared before the gods he is hawked that he isn't in Thanatos' stomach anymore. What happened? Is my prison time over? Asked Minato. No, we wish to know why you sealed the Kyuubi in your own son, Athena more ordered than asked. Shortly after Kushina gave birth to Naruto, a masked man calling himself Uchiha Madara attacked and killed the midwives and all the Anbu that was there. He then went as far to take Naruto hostage, says Minato. Some of the gods and goddesses didn't like that a baby was taken hostage. Because of Kushina's birth, the seal on her was weakened to the point that the Kyuubi could escape. I managed to save Naruto. But Kushina was taken and the Kyuubi was taken out of her. She only lived because she was an Uzumaki. With the Kyuubi out loss, I had to do something, but the masked man attacked me again. During the fight I knew that this man would cause a lot of problems in the future. That's when I made a decision to make Naruto into a Jinchuriki. I know it wasn't the best decision to make, but I believe that Naruto can use Kyuubi to defeat the masked man, finishes Minato. You really believe that? Asked Athena. If I can't believe in my own son, then who could I believe in? I know that I put a heavy burden on Naruto. But I know he'll endure, because that's what makes a shinobi, said Minato. A lot of the gods smile at that. They can see that Minato really cares for his son and have a lot of faith in him. Thank you Yondaime Hokage. For your help, your punishment has been lessened 25 years, said Thanatos. Can I ask for one last thing before I go back? The Yondaime asks. What is it? Answers Zeus. Tell Naruto that I am sorry for the burden that I gave him and that I love him no matter what he decides to do with his life. I'll be proud no matter what, said Minato. Very well, said Zeus. And with that Thanatos swallows Minato back into his stomach. Zeus dismisses Thanatos. Well, that answers some questions. But who is Naruto's godly parent? And what will their punishment be? Asked the sun god. The goddess that had the boy will have till the winter solstice to claim him. If not, the boy will be killed and the Kyuubi shall be sent back to Delos. Dionysus, I want you to watch the boy and make sure that the seal doesn't break. With that this meeting is over, commanded Zeus. Camp Half-Blood. The sun breaks over the horizon bathing the valley in its light. Avaret. Hing is peaceful until there was a loud boom. Green smoke comes out of all the cabins. Everyone runs out of their cabins from the smell. The worst ones that were screaming are those from Aphrodite cabin. Chiron gallops over and calls them to gather. What happened here? Asked Chiron. Someone sent off a stick bomb throughout all out cabins. Chiron looks over to the Stoll brothers for they are known for doing stick bombs. But even Hermes' cabin was hit. This is making Chiron wonder who could have done it. The old centaur looks around at the campers and notices that the newest camper is missing. Chiron resists groaning. Great. Another prankster, but this one has stealth training. Said prankster is at the dock overlooking the lake. Naruto takes out the other scroll that he got the other day. He flares his chakra through it and opens it. Naruto looks through the scroll and notices that there are only a few things in it. The blonde puts some chakra in the first seal in the scroll, pops out. 2 leather band, one slightly bigger than the other. Naruto looks at them and can't make out what they are supposed to be. He flares some of his chakra into one, but nothing happens. Scratching the side of his head, he slides it up his left arm till it can't go any farther. The leather band stops just before his elbow. Naruto takes the other leather band and slides it up his left arm too, stopping it at his wrist. Again, flaring his chakra through both of them this time. A small red-maroon shield. It is wider near his elbow and becomes nearlier as it gets closer to his wrist. The leather bands are holding the shield in place. A shield, but I don't know how to use a shield, complains the blonde. As he looks at the shield, a black chain comes out of the end of the shield. The chain links look somewhat thick with a pointed end that is sharp enough to pierce through just about anything. Questions a clueless Naruto. The hooves on the wooden dock alerted Naruto. The black chain becomes Bright red as it starts to burn through the planks on the dock. Chiron finds Naruto at the docks with a shield attached to a chain that's burning through the dock. "Ah, Mr. Uzumaki, here you are," greeted Chiron. "Oh, good morning Rogen Chiron," greeted back Naruto. The chain cools down becoming black was more. Chiron looks at the shield and chain. Of all his years the old trainer has never come across such a shield. "What do you have there, Mr. Uzumaki?" asked Chiron. "Huh." Naruto looks at his shield. "This shield was in this scroll that I got from the other scroll. I don't know how to use it," says Naruto. I honestly don't have a clue how to use a shield like this. Most weapons that half-bloods use are just common weapons, but with a few unique weapons appearing every now and then. Saw that shield is the most unique I have seen, and I've lived for 3,000 years. You'll be learning to use a shield, but that chain is going to take some time and most likely you'll be the one to be finding how to use it," said Chiron. The chain retracts back into the shield. Chiron saw this and was intrigued. Never had he seen everything like this shield before. The centaur wonders if Hephaestus made that shield. There is one thing that's for sure, with Naruto around things are going to be interesting. After breakfast Naruto started his class for Greek history. When he first opened he book the blonde was expecting for the words to move around and confuse him, but when they didn't he rubbed his eyes. Someone for Athena cabin told that their brains are hardware for ancient Greek. This of course made Naruto face palm. All these years of and he couldn't even read the characters because his brain wouldn't let him. Good thing that Tsunade taught him a way around it. It still made him mad. As the class went on he felt like he truly learned something for the first time in his life. Iruka tried to help him, but his ADHD didn't make it easy. After Greek history ended, Naruto was taken to the arena. "So this is Hearth Boy," says Clarice. Naruto's eyebrow twitches. "I'm starting to hate that name now. The name is Uzumaki Naruto Datbeo," shouted Naruto. "Yeah, well I don't care. You're new here so I'll show you who's top dog," stated Clarice. "Is that so?" Naruto quietly says as he pumps some chakra into his shield making it come out. "Oh, you have a shield, but can you use it?" questions Clarice as she take up her shield and spear. Naruto leaps towards Clarice. The daughter of the war god brings up her shield and bashes Naruto back. The blonde slides back and crouches. The black chain comes out of the shield, whipping his arm. The chain went towards Clarice. Clarice raises her shield to block it. The chain hits the shield, but goes around the shield and hits Clarice's unprotected backside. As she stumbles Clarice loses her balance when Naruto jumps on her. Naruto grabs the chain and thrusts at her. Clarice forces Naruto off of her and back to her feet. The daughter of war thrusts her spear at Naruto, sparking electricity at him. Phantom pains flare at his chest. Naruto ducks under the spear thrust and makes his way to her. When the blonde was close anew, he uppercuts Clarice, making her airborne. Follow up by a sharp kick to her back, wrapping his chain around her and pulls. Clarice hits the ground hard, causing her to lose her breath. She groans ill. She feels added weight on her chest and the feel of cold metal touches her throat. Opening her eyes and stares into Naruto's azure blue eyes. Clarice's cheeks redden. "Yield," command Naruto. Smirking. "You win this round," stated Clarice. Naruto gets off of Clarice and gives her a hand. Pulling Clarice to her feet, Naruto notices that she reminds him of the kunoichi. Taking training seriously and trying to become stronger. Nothing like how Sakura and Ino didn't train that much. Their fight in the Chunin exams showed that. He remembers how Kurenai was disappointed in them for fanning over Sasuke. "You said your name is Uzumaki?" asked Clarice. Naruto. "Rogen Chiron said that my people say our surname first." "What's your name?" asks Naruto. "I'm Clarice. Most people that come to camp aren't good at fighting." "Where did you learn to fight like that?" asks Clarice. "I was trained to be a shinobi. I've been learning to fight since I was 8. I can say one thing for sure, you take your training very seriously," said Naruto. "Of course," proudly stating Clarice, "I'm a daughter of Ares, the god of war. I'm no daughter of Aphrodite. I take training very seriously and I don't take shit from anybody. I can respect for beating me. If you want spar anytime just find me. Now let's see how you are with a sword," says Clarice. Trying to use a sword was a trial by error. None of the swords felt right. They either weigh too much, too light, too long, or too short. Which was strange that Naruto would have a difficult time with them consider all the time he'd practice with kunai. Claris Say stated because he was so used using knives for so long he can't get used handling a sword. And with Naruto being Naruto stated he'll master using swords in no time. After sword practice came shield practice. Clarice forced Naruto to use a heavy shield. When Naruto asked why, she says by using a heavier shield he won't notice the weight of his personal shield. The daughter of war went to teach Naruto the correct way to hold a shield. Use it properly, and even use it as a weapon. You aren't half bad, Hearth boy, says Clarice. I could say the same thing about you, Riz-chan, said Naruto. Practice coming to an end. Lunch came rolling around. Naruto once again pouts that there is no ramen, but at least he is eating right. Kakashi would always trying and telling Naruto to eat more than just ramen. After lunch Naruto came to the archery range. Lee was there with some of his cabin members and Kirin was there as well. Good afternoon, Mr. Uzumaki, greeted Kirin. Afternoon Rojan Kirin, said Naruto. Kirin takes out Naruto's patch and leg holster. Here are your patch and leg holster, says Kirin as he hands them to Naruto. Naruto takes out one of his remaining kunai and throws it at the target. The kunai doesn't hit the bullseye, but gets pretty close. Impressive. Now let's try with a bow and arrow, stated Kirin. Konoha, Tsunade not having a good day. Kakashi arrived back looking defeated. He reported that a woman looking a lot like Kushina took Naruto. Jiraiya returned wanting to take Naruto on a 2-year training, but learned that he was kidnapped. He went into his spy network to find him. But with no good news. Worst was a council meeting was called and she didn't know till one of her Anbu alerted her. What is the meaning of this? Yelling Tsunade as she breaks open the doors. Hokage-sama, we are having a meeting to label the demon as a Nukenin, says one of the civilian council members. What? Roars Tsunade. How dare you call this meeting and not to include me? The only one that is going to become a Nukenin is Uchiha Sasuke, yelling the angry Senju. The boy is nowhere to be found, stated Danzo. Because he was kidnapped by someone who looks like his mother, said Tsunade. The whore came ba. A kunai is hard pressed against his throat by Kakashi. Finish that sentence. I dare you, ordered Kakashi. Kakashi stand down, commanding Tsunade. Kakashi talk. The kunai away from the councilman's neck. As of this day Uchiha Sasuke will be marked as a Nukenin and Uzumaki Naruto as go down as Mia. If anyone says otherwise they'll be executed. With that be. Aang said. Tsunade storms out of the council chambers. Danzo is already forming a plan to find and brainwash Naruto to become the perfect weapon and to make Tsunade lose her position as Hokage. Tsunade made her way back to her office where Jiraiya was waiting on her. So, did you learn anything? Questioned Tsunade. Nothing. It is like the brat just disappeared. Hell, the toads can't reverse summon him. Something very powerful is blocking the summoning, Jiraiya answered tiredly. Keep searching for him. This woman is going to pay for taking him. Yelled Suand. Kirin was muttering about pranksters when he arrived at the bathrooms. Someone caused the toilets to explode. He knew who did it. Oh, he knew who did it. Naruto and the Stoll brothers been having a prank war going on and no one was safe. Kirin sighs. At this rate I'll be gaining gray hair. At least Percy only caused the water to back up, but to destroy the toilets, Kirin was lost for words. During the prank war Kirin tasked D. Beckendorf to make a net to trap Naruto, since the blonde could get out of just about any knot. Beckendorf laughed when he was tasked to. Just like how Ares and Aphrodite was captured to let Hephaestus know that Aphrodite was cheating on him, or the time when Zeus was captured by a net. Beckendorf laughs as he makes it. So here Kirin arrived to see not just Naruto, but the Stoll brothers captured in a net. Of course everyone else is there laughing at them. Now that you three have been captured this prank war ends now. Ordering Kirin, Travis and Connor will have kitchen duty for a month cleaning both breakfast and dinner. Naruto, you'll have to clean the horse's stable for a month, orders Kirin as he cuts them down. Early in the morning, the sun is barely past the horizon. Naruto is at the horse's stable cleaning it. Naruto shovels old hay out one of the stables. Ew. What are you guys fed? Complains Naruto. Mostly grains, but they eat hay and concentrate mixes, said Selena. Naruto jumps up clinging to the ceiling with chakra. His heart is racing 1,000,000 miles a minute as he tries to calm down. Naruto cuts the flow of chakra dropping down and lands on his feet. The blonde gives Selena a glare. That's not funny, bitterly says Naruto. I didn't know I could sneak up on you. You always know when people are near you, Selena giggles. That's because I know that people are around. Most people aren't up this early. Why are you here? And I don't know your name, what is it? Asks Naruto. I'm Selena, counselor for Aphrodite's cabin. I take care of most of the horses and Pegasi, answered Selena. Well, they shouldn't be fed such things. They smell. Sigh. This is like D-rank missions all over again. At least I don't have to worry about that demon cat Datbeo. Naruto just sighs again. Selena can hear the dread in his voice about a demon cat. She grabs a shovel and scoops out some old hay. The daughter of Aphrodite looks over at Naruto. Whenever she sees him, he always have that same blue scarf wrapped around his neck. Hey, Naruto, why do you always have that scarf? Asks Selena. When I woke up in the infirmary there was a storage scroll next to me. Chiron said it appeared there overnight. When I unsealed it, this came out, answered Naruto as he brings up the scarf to cover half of his face. I think this scarf was made by my mother. I just wished I knew who she was. Naruto quietly says. Selena seen this with all those that are unclaimed in Hermes' cabin. It saddened her that so many don't know if they are forgotten, or don't know if their parent wanted them in the first place. She even noticed that some went missing leaving camp because they weren't claimed. Selena places her hand on Naruto's shoulder, grabbing his attention. I'm sure wants to, but maybe she can't. Many of the gods are very busy. Selena says, trying to comfort Naruto. I know the gods are busy, but then why did she bring me here? There are so many questions I want to ask her, but I don't know. I don't, says Naruto. Naruto was loose for words. Every morning and night Naruto rereads the letter from the scroll. Even after he was brought to camp he still wonders why he was brought here. Did his mom wanted him to live in a place where he wouldn't have to kill like most shinobi? To live a life where he can have peace when he is old enough? The blonde even thinks it was some sick joke. Feeling like he wasn't wanted, cutting off from the world, the voices of the villagers coming to taunt him. But before he could give in to despair, Selena brought about it. Did you hear me? Asks a concerned Selena. Yeah, I'm fine. Just lose in thought, said Naruto. Wanting to change the subject. So what's this about you and Clarice? Asks Selena. What about her? Asks a clueless Naruto. Selena was dumbfounded. Ever since Naruto and Clarice started training together they have been hanging out with one another ever since then. There was even a betting pool to see for how long it'll take them to start going out with each other. You hang out with Clarice all the time. What do you guys do? Asking Selena. We train. She's been helping me with my chain whip. Riz-chan says that. It is so unpredictable it makes the perfect weapon to train against. A still clueless Naruto answers. So that's it. You guys just train and nothing else. There has to be more. Selena almost demanding. We hang out because Riz-chan is fun to hang out with. I don't get what you're going on about, says the clueless blonde. Selena is starting to think that they just like to hang out with one another. There wasn't anything going on between the two of them, just two friends hanging out. The daughter of Aphrodite is happy that Naruto has a friend. September. When Naruto was finished with his punishment to cleaning out the stables, he still went to them and talked with Selena in the mornings. He learned that she wasn't like the rest of Cabin 10 and that she's a neat freak. Arts and crafts was something Naruto thought was strange. During arts and crafts he met Beckendorf. The counselor of Cabin 9 told Naruto that arts and crafts can be used to make anything that they can think of. After he learned that you can try to make anything you wanted, well, he tried to make more kunai and shuriken to replace the ones he'd lost. After that, when arts and crafts came, he was closely watched. It's not my fault that I started a fire by accident, muttering a depressed blonde. It just shows that we care. Beckendorf chuckles. I don't even know how it started, Datbeo, shouted Naruto. Yes, we don't know how that fire started, says Beckendorf. Naruto just pouts as no one will believe him. Honestly, one minute he was making a case for his shuriken and then the next there was a fire. The fire Zhu-T started out of nowhere and quickly spread out of control. Big Beck, can you help me with making kunai? Asking Naruto as he tries to make another cast for his shuriken. Sure, as long I get to take a closer look at that shield of yours, said Beckendorf. Ever since Naruto had gotten his shield and started to use it, it has become the talk of the camp for it being so strange. Clarice says because the chain whip can extend and retract, giving it so much potential in battle. She even said because the chain whip can superheat, it makes it perfect for wrapping around monsters and burn them. Naruto just sighs. Fine. Naruto pumps some chakra through his leather bands, causing the shield to form. Sliding the shield off of his arm and hands it to Beckendorf. Beckendorf was surprised by the weight of the shield. The son of Hephaestus thought he was holding a feather in his hands. Beckendorf places the shield on the table and takes a closer look at it. Naruto on the other hand hummed as he finishes with his shuriken cast. He smiles at his hard work paying off. Naruto found out that the celestial bronze that every half-blood uses is heavier than the iron kunai and shuriken that he normally uses. Of course, in Naruto's mind he saw it as a great way to train while fighting. Using a heavier metal than normal would make his swings faster and heavier when he switches back. By the gods, shouted Beckendorf. Naruto looks over at a surprised Beckendorf. What is it that you found out, Big Beck? Asks Naruto. Your shield it is made out of adamantium, shouted a still shocked Beckendorf. Is that a good thing? Now a concerned Naruto asking. It's a very good thing. Adamantium is the rarest ores found. It's so rare that Hephaestus keeps records of all the ore on Mount Olympus. Adamantium is the hardest stuff in the world, and that's what your shield is made out of. Nothing's going to cut through this shield. Can you get that chain whip out? Asks Beckendorf. Naruto places his hand on his shield and pumps some chakra into the shield, causing the chain to come out. Beckendorf holds up the chain, looking at each link individually. Oh, this is Stygian iron, said Beckendorf. What's that? Asked Naruto. There are magical ores that the gods, immortals, and half-bloods use as weapons. Celestial bronze is the most common because it is mined from Mount Olympus. Monsters are afraid of celestial bronze because it can kill them and send them back to the underworld. But with Stygian iron, the monsters truly hate and fear it. When a monster is killed by Stygian iron, they can't reform because Stygian iron adsorbs the monster's essence, stated Beckendorf. That's good. It prevents monsters of harming us. But why don't we use more of it, if it works like that? Asks Naruto. Because Stygian iron can only be found and mined in the underworld and cooled in the river of Styx. Only those who work for Hades use Stygian iron. But what really makes it truly different from celestial bronze is that Stygian iron can harm not just us, but can harm mortals, said Beckendorf. But I thought harming mortals was a bad thing, because they can't see us through the mist. Questioned Naruto. Normally you're correct, but there are times when a mortal can see us and we call them clear sight. Chiron said that they have some divine blood but not strong enough for monsters to attack them. They are ones that usually contact satyrs when they come into contact with half-bloods trying to get here, says Beckendorf. Beckendorf went back to examining chain whip. He is truly left without for words. The craftsmanship can only belong to his father, for none could make the chain links in such a way. Each link overlaps each other, preventing any break or to use the empty space in the links to be used against Naruto. Beckendorf had Naruto pump some chakra through the chain whip, causing it to become bright red. The son of Hephaestus put on a pair of fireproof gloves and holds up the chain whip. He tugs on the links, seeing their strength, and wasn't disappointed. Masterpiece, whispered Beckendorf. October. Naruto stares at the calendar. October 10th, his birthday. Naruto never liked his birthday. Yondaime Day, the day that the Yondaime Hokage killed the Kyuubi. If only they knew he didn't kill the Kyuubi, but sealed it inside of Naruto. It didn't stop the villagers from hating him though. The name calling and the stares. Oh, how he hated the stares. It was like they wanted him to stop existing. But what was worst was when a villager would get drunk. He remembers how Inu stopped the drunken villagers. It still didn't help most of the year. The blonde knew that Inu couldn't protect him all the time and had to take missions that were outside the village. It was Inu that taught Naruto to be so stealthy, cracking a smile because with the stealth training from one of the best Anbu made Naruto a menace to the residents of Konoha. "What are you smiling about?" asks Clarice as she scares Naruto, trying to calm his heart down. "I was just remember how I'd used to prank Konoha. You see, I was trained by Inu, one of the best in Anbu," says Naruto. Anbu. Anbu stands for Ansatsu Senjutsu 2. Kushu Butai, which translates to Special Assassination and Tactical Squad, tells Naruto. "So they assassinate people?" questions Clarice. Sure, she's a daughter of Ares, and with Ares being the god of war. Even though killing comes with war, she doesn't necessarily likes killing unless it's a monster. "Not all the time from what I heard. They take high-level missions that could be assassinations and torture, but also information gathering, kidnapping, bodyguard, tracking, surveillance, and other missions that required specially trained shinobi. Only the best can join. Age, gender, background, or previous rank doesn't matter. Ba-chan said with my stealth I could have joined, but my ADHD prevented that," explains Naruto. "No telling. Beckendorf had to think outside of the box in order to capture you." "But why were you staring at the calendar?" asks Clarice. "My birthday. I never truly liked it. Never had a real reason to celebrate it, no. Enough with being sad. Let's get some training in," said Naruto. Naruto heads to the arena. Clarice thought about what Naruto says with it being his birthday. After training, Clarice runs off. Naruto was a little sad that she didn't stick about like she normally does. He heads back towards the shower to clean up. "Hey, Naruto," said Blonde, turns his head and see Connor walking towards him. "Chiron wanted you to check the border. It's been weakening for some time now," says Connor. "Sure, I don't mind," said Naruto. Naruto takes off towards the border, not seeing Connor smiling. Naruto lands on a tree branch just on the inside of the border. For the past few weeks the border has been weakening, but not enough for monsters to pass through. Naruto can see a pair of red glowing eyes staring at him. Pumping some chakra through his leather bands, acting his shield fold out and the chain whip extends out. When the pair of glowing red eyes saw the chain whip, it backs off. "That's what I thought," said Naruto. Ever since Beckendorf told Naruto about what his chain whip was made out and how monsters hated it, he trained even hard to learn to properly use it in battle. Using a weapon that causes monsters to back off in fear had to be used to save lives. The blonde stayed at the border for a few hours keeping watch. The sun starts to set. Naruto stands up on the tree branch he's standing on and looks at the valley. The trees just catch the sunset just right. It causes him to remember when he used to go up on top of the Hokage monument. The trees would look like the sun set the forest surrounding Konoha on fire, giving Hinokuni its name as the Land of Fire. Naruto makes his way back to camp for a much-needed rest. Starting with dinner, then a nice hot shower. Naruto arrives at the dining pavilion and no one was there. "That's odd. I know I didn't miss dinner," said Naruto. Then the hearth burst, brightening all of the diner pavilion. Everyone jumps out yelling, "Surprise!" which causes Naruto to jump and clings to one of the marble columns. What's going on?" yelled Naruto as he slides down the marble column. Selena walk up to Naruto. "After your training with Clarice, she came to everyone and told that today was your birthday and you were depressed. So we all decided to give you a surprised birthday party," explains Selena. "So me needing to watch the border was just a way for you guys to prepare?" asks Naruto. "Of course. Didn't you find it strange that Chiron didn't come to you himself to ask you to watch the border?" asked Connor. No," says Naruto a little sheepishly. "You should have told us that your birthday was today. We could have done it earlier," said Selena. "Sorry, it's just I never really liked my birthday," says Naruto. "Most of us can agree with you, but we still celebrate it to show that we made it one more year," said Selena. Naruto smiles. "Thanks." Naruto actually had fun for once on his birthday. Chiron got him a manual for whips to further his training. Connor and Travis got him a pair of Converse because they knew he didn't like shoes that are too thick on the bottom. Beckendorf gave Naruto a full set of celestial bronze kunai and shuriken. Lee gave Naruto a bow that could transform into a ring. Selena gave Naruto a pair of aviators that can turn into a mask to conceal his face from the stories of the Anbu he told her, and Clarice gave Naruto a sword to wield which too can transform into a ring. I want to say thanks, Riz-chan, says Naruto. Don't think of nothing of it. You were depressed from the looks of it and you needed to be cheered up. I can't have my training partner getting soft on me, says Clarice as she turns her head so Naruto doesn't see her blushing cheeks. Still, I thank you, really. If you need anything just ask and I'll be there datbayo, said a grinning Naruto. November. Why do I have to do this? Asks Naruto as he plucks strawberries. Because you had and the Stole brother had to put chocolate bunnies on top of cabin 4, said Miranda as she plucks strawberries. It makes it look like rabbits live up there though. I don't see the whole point of getting mad, said Naruto. I don't care. You got in trouble for it. Now you have to pay the piper, said Miranda. Naruto grumbles as he plucks some more strawberries. As he did he lets his mind wander. He read up on the half-bloods that came from Delos. The Shodai Hokage was a child of Demeter W. Hitch could explain how he could grow trees. It seems that the Nara clan started out as children of Erebos and they gained the blessing from Athena to have generations of strong and tactical minds. He tried to look more up. But information about more half-bloods of Delos are hard to find. As Naruto was plucking strawberries it reminded him of when he used to water his plants back in his old apartment. That was really the only time he would calm down. Times like this he thinks about Konoha. Would he be on another mission now? Would he be training to get stronger? Then there is Ba-chan, Ero Sennin, Kakashi-sensei, Iruka-sensei, Old Man Tuki, Ayame Nichan, and Shuzin Nichan. He wonders what they are doing now. Ba-chan is probably trying to drink, but Shuzin Nichan won't let her. Iruka Sensei is probably teaching at the academy now. Old Man Tuki and Ayame Nichan are probably working hard and sailing ramen. Kakashi Sensei is probably reading Ika Ika, and Ero Sennin is probably peeping at the hot springs. Hope Ba-chan finds out and hits Ero Sennin, said Naruto. December. Chiron wasn't having a good day. The winter solstice is quickly approaching and he knew what would happen to Naruto if he isn't claimed by then. Many of the campers have grown to like him. The old trainer even heard of the betting pool about Naruto and Clarice. Everyone, can I have your attention? Everyone turned their head to Chiron. As you know, the winter solstice is coming up. And as you all may know, the gods let us come to Mount Olympus. I want each camp counselor to have a list of those wanting to go to Mount Olympus by the end of the day, said Chiron. Naruto really didn't think much about going to see Mount Olympus. I mean, sure it would be cool to see it, but I don't want to go, not yet at least. Thought Naruto as he makes his way to the arena. Clarice is already there waiting on him. She is holding her shield and sword. Yup, Naruto wasn't going to like today's training. The blonde's shield folds out and the ring on his right middle finger transforms into a sword that Clarice gave him for his birthday. Ever since then, Clarice has been pushing Naruto into wielding a sword. You look depressed again. Was it about going to Mount Olympus on the winter solstice? Asks Clarice as she swings her sword at Naruto, who blocks it with his shield. Yeah, I mean, I want go, but it wouldn't feel right till I was claimed, said Naruto as he thrusts his sword at Clarice, who parries followed up a swing to his You Protect Ed side. Naruto twists his body to block with his shield. Clarice knew how much Naruto wanted to be claimed and know who his mother is. She thought with him going to Mount Olympus it will cause his mother to claim him. Why don't you go? Says while blocking a sword swing. Think about it. Maybe your mother wants to claim you, then talk to you, said Clarice. Naruto stops in mid-swing and truly thinks about. Maybe that was the reason he wasn't claimed yet. Maybe his mother was wanting to see him, then claim him. Naruto nods his head. You're right. Thanks Riz-chan. You just know what to say datbayo, said Naruto, causing Clarice to look away with red cheeks. A few days later, those that wanted to come to Mount Olympus arrived at the Empire State Building. This was the first time that Naruto was outside of the camp since coming to it. He was shocked to see how tall the buildings were, the amount of people, and the lack of nature. Thankfully one of the member of Cabin 6 explained everything to Naruto, who was getting over the cultural shock. Everyone entered the Empire State Building and headed towards floor 600. At the top, again Naruto was lost for words. He'd never seen anything so beautiful. As he was lost at the beauty of Mount Olympus, a light shines over Naruto's head. Everyone takes a step away from Naruto. Kirin smiles at long last that Naruto is being claimed. All of Naruto's friends smile too, for they knew how much he wanted to be claimed. When the light died down, everyone, not just the campers, but the residents of Mount Olympus and the minor gods that were there, were shocked. Above Naruto's head is the symbol of the hearth and a smaller one with a dove. All hail Naruto Uzumaki, son of Hestia and legacy of Aphrodite, cheered Kirin. Everyone kneels to Naruto like all the claims before. But he was lost for words. Not only for that his mother claimed him, but he's a legacy of Aphrodite. With Naruto's claiming, Zeus immediately called for a meeting, demanding Hestia to be there. Hestia, I think you should explain to us why you have a son, asks Zeus. Zeus was known for having a temper, but he wasn't going to get mad at his sister for even if she isn't one of the Olympians. Even if she doesn't fight, she is still very powerful with being the firstborn of their mother and father. Well, it started 39 years ago. I decided to visit Delos, because I'd never been there. During my visit I heard a family praying to have children. I learned that the wife had an injury very close to her womb that prevented her from carrying a child to full term. Even with my blessing and healing her to the best of my abilities, she still couldn't carry a child. So I took a part of my very own essence and placed it inside of her, explained Hestia. To do that, that part of you became mortal, says Athena. It did. I soon left Delos and returned to my duties. It wasn't until 14 years ago that I gained the memories of my mortal self, whose name is Uzumaki Kushina. I spent the last 13 years going through the memoirs of Kushina to learn that I'd married and had a son, said Hestia. Man, talk about a lucky bastard. He married Aunt Hestia, one of the most beautiful goddesses, pouted Apollo. Hello, daughter-in-law, Aphrodite says while giggling. I was surprised that Minato acted nothing like you, Aphrodite, smiles Hestia. He got that from his father. Minato did get my looks. Smiling Aphrodite. That would explain why his handwriting was soon girly, said Hestia, causing the rest of the gods laugh at the truth. If you excuse me, I want to talk to my son, says Hestia. I want to go see my grandson too. Aphrodite says while jumping from her throne. Zeus ended the meeting and was happy that it ended on a happy note, but it also showed a loophole. Zeus knew he had to look over and fix it so that doesn't happen again. The god of justice couldn't even punish Hestia because she didn't know it till 14 years ago. Zeus smiles for his sister for having a son. Naruto was pulled away from everyone by Kirin. Before he could ask why Kirin pulled him away, two women walked towards the blonde. One of the women had red hair and violet eyes. Naruto swear he'd seen her face somewhere, but can't put his finger on it. The other woman for some strange reason looks a lot like an older Clarice. Hello, Naruto, said the redhead. Hi, who are you? Naruto asks the redhead. I am your mother, said Hestia. For the first time in Naruto's life. Here he was standing in front of his mother. He doesn't know what to do. Does he hug her? Does he say anything? What does he do? Can I hug you? Naruto quietly asks. Why yes, said Hestia. Before Hestia could do anything, Naruto hugs her, almost causing to fall. The goddess of the hearth wraps her arms around her son for the very first time. Naruto comes the warmth that his mother is giving him. The blonde was so happy that he couldn't hold back his tears and just let them go. Everything was perfect. Nothing in the whole world didn't matter. Not the camp, not Konoha, nothing. The only thing that matters, truly that matters, is right now in the arms of his mother. Hestia just kisses Naruto on the top of his head as he cries. When first learned of Naruto, she wanted to take him from Konoha. Being the goddess of family, she always wanted a family to call her own. Now she has a son. My little Maelstrom. Hestia rubs her son's head, holding him tightly. My little Maelstrom. I've always wanted to hold you. To watch you as you grow up, says Hestia. It's really you, isn't it? Asked Naruto to look up at her. Yes, my little Maelstrom, said Hestia before she kisses his forehead. Oh, it's so sweet. I want a hug, pouted Aphrodite. Who are you? Asks Naruto. Oh, my, That can't be. I am your grandmother, but call me mom. Proudly says Aphrodite. Obachan. Said Naruto. No, mom. Quote. Obachan. Mom. Obachan. Stop it you two. Now Aphrodite. If Naru-chan here wants to call you Obachan, then let him call you that, said Hestia. It's not fair. I want him to call me mom. Sigh. Fine, but I want to let you know Naru that you can stay in my cabin. I can't wait to see your love life. Giggles Aphrodite. Aphrodite leaves the mother and son alone. Well, my little Maelstrom, I know you have questions. Know this, I can't answer them all, said Hestia. Why did you take so long to claim me? Asked Naruto. I wanted to wait so that I could talk to you. The winter solstice was the perfect time to do so. Plus the others would have wanted to hold a meeting to learn how one of the 3 virgin goddesses isn't a virgin anymore. Now I have to ask you. Did you look through that scroll I'd left you? Asks Hestia. No, I was putting it off. Why? Is there something really important in it? Asked Naruto. Yes, there is another weapon in there for you along with armor. Is there any other questions you have for me? Asks the hearth goddess. What's with my shield? Asked Naruto. Well, when I first stepped down so that Dionysus could have my spot as one of the Olympians, I wanted some favors. I used a few of my favors to have that shield made, which is called Epion. I wanted to find the meaning of life and death. Hephaestus used the limited amount of adamantium he had to make the shield part of Epion. The shield is to protect life and is the answer for life, explains Hestia. Naruto pumps some chakra through his leather band, causing Epion to fold out. He is awestruck. Epion is the answer of life. What about the chain whip? Asked Naruto. The chain whip is called Heat Rod. Heat Rod is the answer to death, taking lives, not just mythical creatures, but also mortals. I pulled a favor from Hades to give me some Stygian iron, for Stygian iron is the only magical ore to harm both. Your destiny is tied to not just here but back at Delos, said Hestia. So I have to go back to Konoha? Naruto asks almost out of fear. Hades holds Naruto, calming him down. Not if you don't want to. You can do anything you want with your life. But know this, fate works in mysterious ways, said Hestia. That's bullshit. I write my own fate, Datbeo, shouted Naruto. Hades hit Naruto on the side of his head. Don't say such language, young man, said Hestia as she gives him the look. Naruto was actually helped to be scowled at by his mother. 3 months had passed since the winter solstice. Since then, Naruto during those 3 months had moved out of cabin 11 and into cabin 10. When first saw the cabin during his tour he didn't think much of it, but now. The pink hurt his eyes sometimes, then there is the perfume smell. Naruto's nose sometimes can't handle it. He wonders if Kiba came to cabin 10 would he pass out from the smell. Ever since Naruto was claimed, those that are unclaimed were getting their hopes up to being claimed. But as Naruto did more reading he learned that it's possible that those that aren't claimed are children of minor gods. Only Olympians claim children, not minor gods. Right now Naruto is with Beckendorf heating the forge in cabin 9. When it became known who Naruto's mother was, it started to make sense to everyone. Why every time he'd make an offering to the hearth would burn brighter during meals and the time he started a fire during arts and crafts. See, I told you I didn't start that fire, Datbeo, shouted Naruto. Because you didn't know how to control your power over fire, stated Beckendorf. Naruto pouts. Take away from me, why don't you? You know I could stop heating your forge, said Naruto. I was just joking. Your control has gotten better, said Beckendorf. Well, what do you expect? Naruto proudly stated. I've been working on my control for 3 months now. It is nice that your dad Hep Itoko lets me in here, Big Beck Datbeo, Naruto said with excitement. Beckendorf shakes his head. I wonder if that's your fatal flaw, questioned the counselor of cabin 9. Being prideful. Fat chance in Hades. I will be the first one to tell you that I'm not perfect. I'll ask help if I need it. I believe in hard work to better oneself, said Hearth Boy. Here, yelled Beckendorf, completely agreeing with him. That's one of many things that Beckendorf likes about Naruto. He is a hard worker. Hell, Beckendorf seen Naruto trying to make his own kunai and shuriken so he wouldn't have to bother the son of Hephaestus. They still come out like shit, but he's trying. There, That should keep the temperature high enough, said Beckendorf. What are you trying to make if you don't mind me asking? Asked Naruto. I'm checking all the armor and weapons for when summer gets here. It's only a few months away and I want to make sure that everything is in working order. And what about you? I heard of your new duties. Questioned Beckendorf. Ever since Naruto was claimed he has been tending to the hearth in camp to keep it strong. It's all about control. I have to keep the hearth just right so it doesn't go out and become too big. Luckily Ka-chan showed me how to do it, Datbeo. Shouted Naruto. Alright, you're done here. If I need anything I'll let you know, said Beckendorf. Naruto nods and leaves the cabin. Naruto made his way over to the hearth to check on it. He spends most of his free time at the hearth. It feels as though Hestia is there with him. Naruto looks over at Talia's pine tree on top of Half-Blood Hill. The son of Hestia was told the tale of the hill. That 3 half-bloods were trying to make it to the camp with their satyr's guide. Being chased by hordes of monsters that wanted them dead. He'd heard what happened to all of them since then. Luca, son of Hermes, became a traitor and wants revenge. Reminds Naruto of Sasuke wanting revenge against his brother Itachi for killing their whole clan in a single night. Annabeth left camp to try and reconnect with her father. Talia became a tree, and Grover went to find the lost god Pan. When Naruto really thinks about it, they are like Squad 7. Luke is like Sasuke wanting revenge, Anab. TH is like Sakura needing help from others, Talia is like Naruto willing to sacrifice oneself to protect others, and Grover is like Kakashi trying to guide them but fails. It is sad when one truly thinks about it. Bang. Everyone in the camp stopped what they were doing. Bang. There it was again. Bang. And again. Bang. Then on the 4th time part of the barrier breaks. 8 Laestrygonian giants charge towards some of the few campers that are in the strawberry fields. A black chain comes out of nowhere wrapping around one of the Laestrygonian giants' right arm. The rest of the Laestrygonian all top to turn their heads to where the chain come from. Heat rod become bright red. The Laestrygonian screams from the burning heat. To arms, yelled Clarice. With a mighty pull the arm is severed off from the Laestrygonian. Naruto pumped chakra through his legs as leapt towards the one-armed Laestrygonian. He kicks the giant's face in, grabs heat rod and wraps it around the giant's neck. The blonde deplaces his feet on the monster's head and pulls with all of his might, burning through flesh, muscle, and bone. Then pop goes off the head. Now normally when a monster is killed they turn into gold dust. But when a monster is killed by Stygian iron it absorbs the monster essence. That's what happened when Naruto beheaded the Laestrygonian giant. The other Laestrygonian didn't take that too kindly. In a mad rush, they charged towards Naruto. Mark and Sherman bash 2 of the giants from behind with their shields. Beckendorf throws a ball that explodes into a net that wraps around another arrow. Pierce another in the knees, forcing it to the ground. Travis and Connor double team one, causing it to trip. And finally Clarice throws her spear at one of the remaining 2 that are still charging Naruto. The spear stabs one of the Laestrygonian, causing it to cry out in pain. Naruto whips his chain whip at the remaining Laestrygonian. The giant grabs the chain whip and pulls the blonde towards him. Naruto couldn't even get chakra to his feet in time to stop. The chain whip becomes bright red, but the giant pushes through the pain and throws Naruto across the strawberry fields. Mark slides underneath the Laestrygonian as it tries to grab him. He quickly turns around, slicing through the giant's left leg. Without its left leg the giant fell over onto its front. Mark took advantage, jumps on He Laestrygonian's back and stabs his sword into the monster's back, cutting through the spinal cord, killing it instantly. Sherman uses his shield to block the iron club the Laestrygonian is wielding. The weight behind it causes his shield to cave in, but also breaks his arm. Mark saw this and rushes over to aid his brother. Mark leaps onto the cannibal's back, repeatedly stabs its neck. The giant grabs Mark and throws him into the ground. Lifting its foot the giant aims to crush the son of Ares. Sherman thrusts his spear into the Laestrygonian's back, causing the giant to cry out in pain. Mark quickly got to his feet and thrusts his sword into the monster's chest, aiming to end the fight. The blade pieces through the chest and goes through the heart, ending it. Beckendorf simple walks over to the tied-up Laestrygonian. He says nothing but just raises his hammer up and descends down onto the cannibal's head, crushing it. Travis and Connor are making sure to keep out of the Laestrygonian's range with its iron club. Beckendorf throws his hammer, striking the monster in the head. The Stoll brother took this advantage and stabs the giant in the chest, killing it. Lee and the rest of his SIBL Ings are keeping one of the few Laestrygonian that's alive distracted. The Laestrygonian rushes them till a sword flies into its right shoulder. The creature stops and turns to face Mark. Mark is Reger, editing his action for it left him without a weapon. "Fuck me," Mark simple says. The cannibal roars at him while rushing him. Beckendorf tackles the monster, holding it down. Travis and Connor run over and repeatedly stabs it in the chest, killing it. Naruto rolls on the ground. He holds his ribs, feeling a few cracked. Blood running from the corner of his mouth. The son of Hestia gives the giant a death glare. Naruto summons a shadow clone and holds out his hand. The clone starts to help the blonde with his chakra to form in his hand. Naruto whips his chain whip at the Laestrygonian again. As the same before, the giant grabs hold of the chain whip and pulls it towards him. Naruto's clone finished with the chakra to form the Rasengan just in time. Naruto flies towards the giant with his Rasengan out in front. "Rasengan!" shouted Naruto as he slams the ball of chakra into the monster head, grinding through skull bone and into brain matter. Clarice is going toe-to-toe with the Laestrygonian. He is using the creature's size against itself by moving only a little slower than her. That's all it takes to win a battle. Cutting up the giant's arms to he'd lose grip of his iron club. Clarice throws her shield into the Laestrygonian's mouth, breaking a few teeth. She then grabs her spear and thrusts it into the monster's throat, killing it. Chiron gallops towards everyone. "What happened?" orders Chiron. "Some Laestrygonian broke through the barrier," said Clarice. Chiron looks around, going through the battlefield. "Tend to the wounded. I want all campers to carry weapons at all time. Incre. Ace patrol with everyone wearing armor while doing so. I need to find why the barrier is weakening," orders Chiron before he gallops off. May. Throughout the month, monsters have been breaking through the barrier more frequency. Beckendorf is spending a large amount of time fixing weapons and armor to keep those who do border patrol, or those that fight the monster when they break through. Luckily his school year is ending and more campers are arriving to help with the defenses. A pack of hellhounds run through the forest. Heat Rod cuts through 3 hellhounds. "Come out to play," yelled Naruto. Naruto for the last hour has been chasing this pack of hellhounds. This pack has been doing hit and run tactics for the last week. For such large creature, they sure can cover distance fast. The blonde's mind has been wondering if they've been leading him into a trap. "What are you doing? Hellhounds aren't this smart. I wonder if I'm nearing an alpha," questioned the blonde. The pack of hellhounds ran into a clearing where a much large hellhound is waiting on them. Naruto lands on a tree branch. "Yup, that's an alpha," said Naruto. "Through some research on monsters since the attacks started, been enlightening. Some monsters had to be killed a certain way, while others could be killed any way possible. But what he'd liked the most was the spoil of wars. With Naruto being Naruto, he got the idea of using spoil of wars to try and make equipment. He learned that hellhounds can use an ability called shadow travel. Naruto asked if Beckendorf can make something like that if he brings him hellhound hide. Using spoil of wars to make weapons and armor. Beckendorf rubs his chin. "It could be possible. I'll tell Border Patrol to bring me any spoil of war that they get. This could finally give half-bloods the edge that we need," stated Beckendorf. Since then, with every monster killed, the spoil of war was taken. Naruto stares at the pack of hellhounds surrounding their alpha. Pumping chakra through his leather bands cause Epion to fold out and Heat Rod extends out. Naruto jumps down and lands in a crouch. The hellhounds see the Stygian iron, but they don't back down. "The alpha is giving them the courage to face me. Even though I'm using Stygian iron," thought Naruto. The chain whip becomes bright red. The hellhounds leap towards the son of Hestia, whipping his chain whip around one of the hellhounds and melts right through the creature of darkness, bashing Epion into the skull of another, killing it, thrusting his chain whip going through an open mouth and out the back of the head. The alpha had enough and jumped towards Naruto. The alpha pins Naruto down and bites down on his throat, but a cloud of smoke goes up. When the smoke cleared, where Naruto was is now a hellhound. E chain whip wraps around the alpha's neck. The son of Hestia pulls the chain whip. The alpha jumps around trying to get the blonde of its back. Naruto flowed chakra to the bottom of his feet sticking to the alpha. The alpha rams into a tree. Naruto heard a snap with pain flaring in his right shoulder. He pushes through the pain pulling the chain whip harder. The chain whip burns through the alpha's hide. It tries to buck Naruto off its back furiously. Screaming with a final tug, the head comes off. With the alpha turning into gold dust, Naruto falls to the ground. The remaining hellhounds circle around the blonde to finish him off. A silver arrow goes through one of the hellhounds' head, killing it. The other hellhounds run away. Naruto gets on his knees while holding his shoulder to look around. A group of girls come out of the forest. "Milady," Zoe asks. "Stand down, Zoe. That is Naruto Uzumaki, son of Hestia," said Artemis. When the goddess of the moon said that, the hunters whisper to each other. Some of the older ones look at him and try to figure him out. "You're Artemis and you're her hunters," stated Naruto. "Yes, but I must ask, why are you so far up north?" asks Artemis. "I was chasing his pack of hellhounds because they've been attacking the camp for the last week," said Naruto. "Ah, yes, I've heard that the barrier has been weakening. But why not just run them off?" asks Artemis. "I wanted the spoil of wars," answered Naruto. "Just like a man would say," Zoe said with disgust. "Watch it, nymph," threatens Naruto. Zoe's eyes widen before she aims an arrow at the blonde, but Artemis stops her. "Zoe, you will stand down." Artemis orders her lieutenant. "I know your story. You got the short end of the stick," says Naruto as he reaches into his back pouch and takes out a small vial of nectar. "You're not the first person and definitely not the last." Naruto takes a small sip of nectar, tasting Ichiraku ramen. "Hatred leads to death. And with that I bid you a farewell," shouted Naruto as he leaps into the trees. Zoe just glares at the blonde as he leaves. "How dare you say something that, you pathetic man? Lady Hestia should have never had you," Zoe shouts in her mind. Naruto stops on a tree branch and face palms. In his haste he'd forgot his loot. Damn those hunters. Go back and get the hide or hunt more hellhounds. It'll be faster if I'd just get the hide now, Naruto thought. Naruto turns around and heads back. He arrived back at the clearing with no hunter in sight. He quickly grabs all the hellhound hides and leaves, never noticing a pair of eyes staring at him filled with hate. A few days passed since then. Naruto stares at Talia's pine tree. Shortly after Naruto returned, the tree was found poisoned, with the tree acting as the beacon for the barrier it was on. Lee natural, with the tree dying so too would the barrier. "Bang! To arms!" yelled Naruto. 5 members from Ares' cabin and a few from other cabins came running with Clarice leading them. "Bang! What's it this time?" asked Clarice. "We're about Riss-chan," Naruto just answered as 2 Colchis bulls breaks through the barrier. A line is made to block the Colchis bulls from breakthrough, but it didn't do anything. Heat rod wraps around one of the Colchis bull's neck and pulls it away from the line. The other Colchis bull breaths fire onto them. "Formation!" shouted Clarice. She only got 6 campers to form a line. The Colchis bull breaks through once again till a Cyclops came out of nowhere, hitting the bull in the head. "Riss-chan!" shouted Naruto. Clarice turns her head and see that Naruto has the bull pinned with heat rod still wrapped around its neck. Clarice throws her spear into the bull's side. The bull came crashing down. "Get the wounded to the big house," a girl shouted, running on the hill, followed by a boy and the same Cyclops that destroyed the other Colchis bull. "It's about fucking time you got back here, wise girl," shouted Clarice. "What's happening?" asks Annabeth. "What does it look like?" "The camp's been under attack for months now. Now come help the wounded." "Tantalus will need to know what happened here," said Clarice. "That fuck," growled Naruto. "Watch it, Hearth boy. You know that no one likes him," said Clarice. "Who's Tantalus?" asked Percy. "He's the activities director," Clarice said with disgust. "But Chiron is the activities director." "And where's Argus?" Percy tried to protest. "It's true. Argus got fired and Chiron was replaced with that bastard is in charge," Naruto growls. "You two have been gone too long," stated Clarice. But Chiron trains DS to fight monsters for over 3,000 years. He can't be gone." "What happened?" asked Percy. "That happened," Clarice snapped while pointing to Talia's pine tree. The tree has become sickly over the past few months. The tree is surrounded by pines that have fallen from their branches and the ones that didn't are yellow. Green sap seeps from the bark to show just how sick it is. Come on Hearth Boy, we have to give our report. Order Clarice. Both Naruto and Clarice leave Annabeth, Percy, and Tyson on the hill to help get the wounded to the big house. You need to start wearing armor Hearth Boy, stated Clarice. I'm too fast to get hurt, said Naruto. Say that with a broken collarbone when you ran into the hunters, snaps Clarice. Hey, that alpha was stronger than I thought, but hunters can't do anything. I could have used their hatred for men against them and they wouldn't be able to do a damn thing, Naruto quickly stated. Flashback start. Naruto arrived back at camp after his little run-in with Artemis and her hunters. He went to the big house to tell Chiron what happened to the pack of hellhounds and also tell him about his little run-in. You're very lucky that Artemis didn't turn you into a jackalope. But I don't think she wanted to anger Hestia, said Chiron. So it's true what they say about Kacchan? Asked Naruto. She may not be seen much or fight like the others. But she is the firstborn from the Crooked One and Mother Rhea. But I have some bad news Naruto. With Talia's tree being poisoned Argus has been fired and so have I, said Chiron. What? But who will train us? You've been training heroes for the last 3,000 years. Yelled Naruto. I know, but someone need to take the blame and I'm more than willing to take it. I will stay till the school year ends and my replacement will be here in a few days. Now Naruto, you have to promise me that you won't do anything, asked Chiron. What do you mean? Who are they replacing you with? Questions Naruto. Tantalus, stated Chiron. Naruto knew who Chiron was talking about. Tantalus was a son of Zeus who was allowed to eat with the gods and stole nectar and ambrosia from them afterward. The gods did, nt like that and didn't let him eat with them again. As an apology he invited them to a feast. Tantalus killed his own son Pelops and fed his remains to them. Demeter was the only one that ate a part of Pelops because she was distraught about her daughter, Persephone. When the gods found out Zeus himself used the Master Bolt to kill Tantalus and brought his soul to the underworld himself for Hades to punish by never eating or drinking. They're allowing that monster here. What the fuck is wrong with them? Naruto is questioning if the gods really care if they're allowing that monster free. I know you aren't liking this. But the decision had been already made. It's out of my hands, said Chiron trying to calm Naruto down. I swear on the river of Styx that if he does anything to endanger any of the campers, I'll drag him down to the underworld myself. Naruto claims proudly as the sound of thunder rumbles is a sign that the oath has been taken. Flashback end. Just start wearing armor alright. You're one of our best fighters. Mark would be sad if you got hurt and couldn't fight anymore, said Clarice. Ha, fat fact, I'm winning by count, said Naruto. Clarice just shakes her head. I swear you two try to beat each other with who can kill the most monsters, said Clarice. You're just mad that it's not me and you, says Naruto as he's punched in the arm. Back on Half-Blood Hill. Who was that with Clarice, Annabeth? Percy asks. I have no idea, but he held a Colchis bull by himself till Clarice finished it off. We need to get to the big house and find Chiron, said Annabeth. They headed into camp. They were shocked to see that the once peaceful camp is now stocking up in arms. Counselors and satyrs stockpiling weapons in the tool shed. Dryads armed with bows and arrows talked nervously at the edge of the woods. The trees are starting to look like Talia's tree. The grass in the meadows are turning pale yellow and the scorch marks from the fires stretch across them. No one talked to them. Everyone was busy with their duties. Messenger runners delivering messages, swords being sharpened, hammers pounding armor. The summer camp was gone and in its place was a military camp. But none of that mattered to Tyson. What's that? He gasped. That's the stable for the Pegasi. The winged horses, answered Percy. What's that? That's the toilets. Percy felt a little strange answering that question. As they arrived at the big house a chair flies through a window. I don't give fuck. I'll fucking rip heart out, shouted a very angry Naruto. Naruto leave, orders Chiron. Naruto storms out of the big house. Naruto walked by Percy. They looked at each other as though time slowed down. Naruto's red eyes looked into Percy's green eyes. A chill goes up the sea god's son's spine. They had a coldness to them that promised death, as though they looked directly into one's very soul and wishes to devour it. Then time went back to normal. They enter the big house avoiding the broken glass and broken chair. They found Chiron in his apartment packing his things in saddles. Frank Sinatra is playing in the background. Pony. Tyson cried out in excitement. I beg your pardon, questioned Chiron. Chiron, what was all that about? Asked Annabeth. That was Naruto getting in another argument with Tantalus. They don't see eye to eye. Must because of what Tantalus did and whose Naruto's mother is. But enough of that. My Percy, you have grown over the year, said Chiron. You're not leaving. Annabeth didn't want to ask, but did anyway. Clarice said that you were. Percy didn't finish asking. Fired. I'm afraid so. Someone had to take blame. Lord Zeus was most upset. The tree he'd created from the spirit of his daughter being poisoned. Mr. D had to punish someone, stated Chiron. Besides himself, you mean? Said in anger Percy. But this is crazy. Chiron, you couldn't have had anything to do with poisoning Talia's tree. Annabeth cried out. Nevertheless, some in Olympus do not trust me now. Under the circumstances, Chiron sadly says. What circumstances? Questioned Percy. Percy wanted to know. He was looking towards coming back to camp for the whole year and now it was like it's closing down for good. He wanted to do something, but he didn't know what. Pony. Tyson said again. My dear young Cyclops, I am a centaur. Chiron said, feeling insulted by being called a pony. Chiron. What about the tree? What happened? Asked Percy. The poison used on Talia's pine is something from the underworld, Percy. Some venom even I have never seen. It must have come from a monster quite deep in the pits of Tartarus, said Chiron. This wasn't how Chiron foresaw things. The old trainer was looking forward in training Percy for the upcoming summer. Teach him more swordplay, maybe get him a shield. He even thought about having Naruto train with him to maybe create a friendly rivalry between the two to help push each other. But with Talia's tree poisoned, he can't really do anything. It was like fate itself wanted Percy to grow through conflicts. Chiron hates to admit, but one can grow faster and stronger when they are in conflicts. The tree only has a few weeks of life left unless. Chiron trailed off thinking whatever was on his mind could actually help the camp. Unless what? Annabeth asked. No, a foolish thought. The whole valley is feeling the shock of the poison. The magical borders are deteriorating. The camp itself is dying. Only one source of magic would be strong enough to reverse the poison, and it was lost centuries ago, mutters Chiron. There was only one item that had the power to save the valley. Chiron knew this, but with it missing the valley was doomed. What is it? We'll go find it. Percy trying to plead with Chiron for more information. Chiron finished packing his saddlebag and stops his music from playing anymore. Chiron looks at Percy. Percy, I don't want you to do anything rash. I told your mother that I didn't want you back at camp this summer. But you are here. Stay here. Train hard. Learn to fight. And don't leave camp, but I want to help. I just can. Let the border fail and the camp because. Percy didn't want to finish that sentence. To be overrun, Chiron just sighs. Yes, I fear so. You must not be baited into haste. Do not let the Titan Lord use this to trap you like last summer. He almost took you life, said Chiron. Percy remembers what happened last summer. Kronos tried to cause a civil war up in Olympus. Zeus accusing Poseidon for stealing his master bolt. Poseidon saying he didn't steal it. Hades, Helm of Darkness was stolen too. Luke was the one who did the stealing. He stole both the master bolt and the Helm of Darkness. Kronos wanted the master bolt to hold an edge for the upcoming war. To cause chaos before anything truly begun. Now it was like he was trying again, but this time targeting the camp, instead of Olympus. Chiron turned to Annabeth. Stay with Percy, Annabeth. Keep him safe. The prophecy, remember it. Says Chiron. I will. Answered Annabeth. Would this be the super dangerous prophecy that has me in it, but the gods have forbidden you to tell me about? Percy asks. Nobody answered. Right. Percy muttered. Just checking. Says Percy. Annabeth, swear you will do your best to keep Percy from danger. Swear on the river of Styx, commanded Chiron. I swear on the river of Styx. said Annabeth. Thunder roars outside letting them know that the oath has been taken. Perhaps my name will be cleared and I shall return. Until then, I go to visit my wild kinsmen in the Everglade. It's possible they know of some cure for the poison tree that I have forgotten. In any event, I will stay in exile until this matter is resolved, one way or another, said Chiron. Who is this Tantalus guy, anyway? Where does he get off taking your job? Percy demanded. Go, you will meet him at the pavilion. Tell Naruto that he needs to keep his temper under control around him, and with that Chiron leaves. The conch horn blows echoing across the valley, signaling to assemble for dinner. All the campers gather at the pavilion. Percy noticed that the hearth isn't lit it normally is till he saw the same blonde from earlier. Then he saw something that didn't make sense. The blonde waved his hand over the hearth pit and the hearth took a blaze. He was shocked to see a camper do that. Annabeth was just as shocked for she never seen anyone do that before. Tyson clapped his hands at the magic trick. Annabeth wanted to talk to the blonde and learn how he lit the hearth without any tools, but didn't get a chance to as they had to go their tables. Well, if it isn't Peter Johnson. My millennium is complete, said Mr. D. Percy Jackson. Sir, Percy growled out. Mr. D sipped his Diet Coke. Yes. Well, as you young people sat these days, whatever, said Mr. D. Ha ha. Dion, are you still made that I'd beat you in poker? Asked Naruto. Percy turns his head and finally gets a good look at Naruto. The blonde hair makes him thinks he is in Apollo's cabin, but saw him sitting at Aphrodite's table. But what throws him a loop is when he'd seen him early Naruto had red eyes, not blue eyes like now. I still believe you cheated, Nathan. I will find out how you did it, stated Mr. D. It's not my fault that I keep winning. You've seen me shuffle. I don't cheat. I mean I can, but I don't. The cards just come to me, said Naruto. I'm going to have to talk to Taish to see if she gave you her blessing. But this is the boy you have to watch. Poseidon's child, you know, said Mr. D. Ah, that one. I already know Hestia's son, Tantalus says with disgust about Naruto. You want to go. I aim to keep my promise by ripping your heart. I'm sure Heat Rod would love just to burn through your body. Epion folds out when Naruto finished talking. Nathan, I will call your mother, says Mr. D. No, I'm good. Naruto quickly says, nice meeting Prissy, says Naruto as he quickly leaves. Percy was actually dumbfounded by what just happened. He'd just seen someone threaten the prisoner by ripping his heart out, then called him Prissy. Why is that one of the most used nicknames he get? Naruto sits back at table. Selena elbowed Naruto's side. You need to quit threatening Tantalus, said Selena. You keep cursing like and your mom will come by. Do you want your mom to come by to give you an earful? Asks Selena. No, Naruto shouted. Ever since Naruto was claimed he had to watch what he say. Chiron and Mr. D threatened to call Hestia if he started cussing like a sailor. Her words not his. Then Naruto saw something that causes him to smile. The blonde just saw a piece of brisket suicide bombs into the hearth. So his punishment is true. Oh, I'm going to have so much fun. Naruto evilly laughs in his mind. Tantalus had a satyrs blow the conch horn to get everyone's attention for announcements. Yes, well, another fine meal. Or so I am told, Tantalus says while Ingta grabs a plate of food that always just 6 inches away from him, and here on my first day of authority. I'd like to say what a pleasant form of punishment, says Tantalus. You think that's just the tip of the iceberg. Naruto begins to evilly laugh out loud but Selena elbows him. And now for some changes. We are reinstituting the chariot races, said Tantalus. Murmuring broke out at all the table. Everyone knows that the chariot races are very dangerous. Death was a real possibility and everyone knew it. Now I know that these races were discontinued some years ago due to, technical problems, says Tantalus. 3 deaths and 26 mutilations, Naruto says with deathly silence. Yes, but I know that you will all join me in welcoming the return of this camp tradition. Go. Elden Laurels will go to the winning charioteers each month. Teams may register in the morning. The first race will be held in 3 days' time. We will release you from most of you horses. Oh, and did I mention? The victorious team's cabin will have no chores for the month in which they win, says Tantalus. The whole pavilion exploded in excitement. A whole month of no chores. Do anything you want without chores being in the way. It was too much to pass up on. But, sir, Clarice shouted, what about patrol duty? I mean, if we drop everything to ready our chariots. Ah, the hero of the day. Brave Clarice, who single-handedly bested the bronze bulls, says Tantalus. I didn't. And modest, too. Not to worry, my dear. This is a summer camp. We are here to enjoy ourselves, yes. But the tree, and now, Naruto places his hand on Clarice's shoulder, stopping her. Before we proceed to the campfire and sing along, one slight housekeeping issue. Percy Jackson and Annabeth Chase have seen fit, for some reason, to bring this here, said Tantalus as he waved his hand over to Tyson. But before anything could happen, a kunai flies by Tantalus' head. Every camper turned their heads to see where the kunai came from. Naruto already has another ready. Now, we aren't going to do what you're fixing to say, child eater. Naruto says with venom. What we are going to do is talk this out, be reasonable people that we are, said Nato. A bright green light shines over Tyson's head. The symbol of a trident appears floating above Tyson, showing that he is claimed by not just a god, but by Poseidon. There was a moment of awed silence as they watched Tyson trying to swat it away. The next day, Naruto, Clarice, Beckendorf, Connor, Travis, Lee, and Mark meet at the arena. With the barrier becoming weaker along with added border patrol meetings like this takes place once a week. The meetings most discuss about weapons, armor, who takes patrol duty, guard duty, and healing the wounded. Beck, Kendorf and those of Hephaestus' cabin make sure that all the weapons and armor are in tip-top condition. Connor and Travis were in charge of making and setting up traps, Lee and those in Apollo's cab were in charge of healing anyone injured during attacks along with archers in defenses, and Naruto, Clarice, and Mark were in charge of patrol duty and support duty. Tantalus wants the chariot raw CES so that no one is defending the camp, said Clarice. We know that. That's why we're having this meeting, Riss-chan. Lee, can you tell us how the injured are coming along with? Asks Naruto. The injured are coming nicely. The dryads and satyrs helps when the wounded come in, stated Lee. We need some more of your cabin mates in archery. Having their support with range attacks will help those in the front, said Mark. Right, I'll ask some to join after the meeting is over, says Lee. Traps are coming along nicely, says Travis. Oh, yes, caught another hellhound yesterday, said Connor. We have a new trap we would like to test out on Tantalus. Speaking of Tantalus, we need to do something about him. He has no love for this camp, stated Beckendorf. There's nothing that we really can't do about the child eater. Well, besides make his life a living hell. Naruto smiles evilly at the thought of Tantalus in pain. What about the Cyclops? Asked Mark. What about it? I know most Cyclops eat half-bloods, but this one is claimed. And I think he has a name, which I don't know, stated Naruto. Most Cyclops work the forges for both Hephaestus and Poseidon. I'll ask Percy if his new brother wants to help out, said Beckendorf. With Annabeth back at camp, shouldn't we ask her to join us when we have meetings? Asks Lee. I don't like Annabeth that much, but she has the best mind when it comes to tactics, answered Clarice. All right then. Before the next meeting we'll ask Annabeth to join us. I guess the meeting is over. Riss-chan, can I ask you something before you leave? Asked Naruto. Sure, Naruto, said Clarice. As everyone else leaves the arena, Naruto catches Mark handing some gold coins to Travis. Naruto shakes his head. I want to ask you if you're willing to join up with Aphrodite's cabin in the upcoming chariot race. Naruto asks. Share between the two cabins for a whole month. Sure, but they can't do anything to our chariot. Clarice yelled. I got it, says Naruto as he holds up his hands. At the lake, Annabeth and Percy are by the canoe lake sketching chariot designs. They decided since their parents worked together to make the horse and chariot, so could they. Are you sure that's what Tantalus said? That Hestia had a son? Questioned Annabeth. Yeah, that's what he'd said. I don't get what you're getting asked Percy. Percy, Hestia made any oath to stay a virgin like Athena and Artemis, though Athena found a loophole. I need to find out more, said Annabeth. The day of the race. It was hot and humid in the morning. There was a low fog that hugs the racetrack. The track itself sits between the archery range and the forest. Hephaestus' cabin used the bulls to plow the field to make it suitable. Strange birds rest on the treetops making strange metallic sounds. Right, you all know the rules. A quarter-mile track, twice a round to win, 2 horses per chariot, each team will consist of a driver and a fighter. Weapons are allowed, dirty tricks are expected, but try not to kill anybody. Any killing will result in harsh punishment. No s'mores at the campfire for a week. Now ready your chariots, stated Tantalus. He truly doesn't care about us not hurting each other. Oh, he's getting it when this is over, growled Naruto. Calm down, Hearth boy, yelled Clarice. All the chariots line up at the start line. Hephaestus' cabin is led by Beck Kendorf in a chariot made of bronze and iron. They made 2 automatons like the Colchis bulls. Ares' chariot was more like a war chariot than a race one with all the weapons in the back being pulled by 2 horse skeletons. Apollo's chariot is made out of pure gold being pulled by 2 beautiful palominos. And Hermes' chariot looks old like it hasn't been taken out in years. I'll drive and you hold them off, all right, says Clarice. No problem, Riss-chan. I've got your back, ya. No, said Naruto. Charioteers. To you mark, called out Tantalus. Charioteers. Attend your mark. Tantalus waved his hand. Hermes' chariot rammed into Apollo's chariot causing the golden chariot to flip throwing the riders off. The horses dragged the golden chariot across the track crashing into Hermes' chariot. Not that far from the start line and 2 chariots are already out of the race. Ares' chariot pulls in first with Athena's chariot not too far behind followed by Poseidon's chariot and Hephaestus' chariot. The birds on the treetops fly up and head towards the racetrack and stands. Naruto grabs a shield and camouflage netting. The blonde gets close to Clarice holding the shield over their heads the camouflage netting draped over them. Naruto has a little difficulty holding the shield over Clarice since she is taller than the blonde. What are Stymphalian birds doing here? Clarice questioned. I don't know, but I'm worried about the other campers, shouted Naruto. We can't do anything right now. We'll have to finish the race then help them out, Clarice shouted back. And that's what they did. The chariot crosses the finish line. Naruto throws off the camouflage netting, pumps chakra through his leather bands. Epion folds out with heat rod extending out. Athena's chariot and Poseidon's chariot leaves the racetrack. You're running. The fight is here, cowards, shouted Clarice. Forget them, Riss-chan. Let's go bird hunting, yelled Naruto. The chain whip becomes bright red as it whips through the air burning through the flocks of Stymphalian. Bird feathers fall to the ground. Naruto wanted to use Shadow Clone, but Epion and Heat Rod doesn't copy. Clarice uses her shield to bash those that are close and tries to use her sword to cut through any that get close enough. Then the 2 chariots that ran off came back, soon followed by loud music playing that causes the Stymphalian to go crazy. It made killing the Stymphalian easier to kill. The flock of Stymphalian leave the racetrack and heads up in the skies. Archers, Annabeth shouted. The archers of Apollo's cabin shines as they fire and hit their mark. The flock of Stymphalian panics from both the music and arrows flies away. With the birds finally away the damage can be seen. Chariots destroyed, injured campers from the bird pecks. Bravo, we have our first winners, said Tantalus. Tantalus walks over to the finish line and awarded the golden laurels to a stunned Clarice and Naruto. What should have been joy and happiness for the winners of the chariot race, but instead was met with pain and depression. Lee and his cabin members had all the injured moved to the big house to get a closer look at all of the wounds. Will took charge since he knew more about modern medicine. Mark rounded up all of Ares' cabin to patrol the border to see if anything else gotten through. With nothing really to do, Naruto heads back to Aphrodite's cabin. As the blonde made his way back, his mind kept wondering. It felt like the flock of Stymphalian birds attacked too perfectly. Even if they're monsters and all monsters attack demigods. They waited till the chariot race started to attack. Like something signaled them to attack. The son of Hestia stopped dead in his tracks. Why didn't he see it? He looks around at the campers. Naruto can see the fear in their eyes. The fear of camp being overrun by monsters and being killed and eaten. The fear of death will make anyone do something stupid, even if it means betraying everyone. Camp Half-Blood had a traitor. Naruto decided to go to the stables instead. The blonde grabs the water hose, turns it, places his thumb just right for the water to spray out, creating a rainbow. "Oh, Iris, goddess of rainbow. Accept my offering," tossing a drachma through the rainbow. "Show me, Hades, lord of the underworld." Naruto asks. The rainbow shimmers into mist as a portal opens up. On the other side stand Hades. Even thousands of miles apart, he can feel the dread of death just by looking at him. Hades notices Iris' message. Naruto knew he had to be respectful, talking to Hades' foe. Not just being in charge of the underworld, but back in Konoha death was worshipped. Being a shinobi meant death could come at any time outside the village. "Hades-sama, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, son of Hestia," says Naruto as respectfully as possible. "Ah, yes, my sister's only son. I must ask why you have Iris message me," commands Hades. "I have called you because of Tantalus. As you know, he was under your care for some time," said Naruto. "Yes, I know. I filed the paperwork so that he could come to Camp Half-Blood," says Hades. "As you know, Tantalus has no love for Olympus for what happened to him." "Is it possible that the child eater is a traitor?" asks Naruto. "If you are stating that he poisoned the tree that creates the magical barrier, which protects the camp, then no. Tantalus has only been released to the camp for a few days now. As you should know that the barrier has been weakening for months now," stated Hades. "But it's still a possibility that Tantalus is a traitor. He is making so that the camp becomes weak. He wants his curse lifted. Just the thought of his curse being lifted, well, anyone would join the other side," said Naruto. "If you can find evidence that he has turned traitor, then I'll increase his punishment. But now you have to do something for me," says Hades. "That depends. As long it is reasonable and within my power, I'll glad to it," says Naruto. Hades grunted at that. The Lord of the Dead wanted to trick the son of Hestia into doing this task without know what's in it. Curse those from Delos. They don't take a job unless they know what's in it. They're more slipper than a snake, thought Hades. The god of riches just sighs. "I have 2 children that need to be brought to the camp. When the winter solstice is near, head towards Maine," said Hades. Naruto was actually taken aback by that. From what he understands, only Zeus and Poseidon only broken their oaths. But here is Hades, not only saying that he'd broken the oath, but has 2 children as well. The blonde will do it and he won't ask questions, for if he doesn't know, he doesn't have to take responsibility. "Very well, I'll bring your children here. I take it you don't want the others to know?" asks Naruto. "Correct. And no, I didn't break the oath. I had my children before the oath was taken, before World War II. I left them in a hotel called the Lotus Hotel and Casino. I'm sure you know about the Lotus Eaters, correct?" Naruto nods his head. "I'll send a message to you when it is time. I await for an evidence that you find about Tantalus's treachery." Hades waves his hand through the mist, cutting the connection. Naruto scratches the side of his head. He learned something all right, but not what he'd wanted. Now he has to find evidence to see if Tantalus is a traitor, but also bring Hades' children to camp when the winter solstice is near. As the blonde thinks over what happened and what he learned, if Tantalus wasn't the traitor that's been here for months, know who it had to been a year-round camper, as for they know the camp better than anyone. Can't be regular year-round campers since they aren't in the meetings which are held, then it can only be the camp counselors. Naruto shakes his head, banishing those thoughts. He doesn't want to think one of his friends is a traitor. "Sigh, from Konoha to Camp Half-Blood there is still conflicts," says the blonde sadly. Later the evening dinner was underway. It was kind of sad, no one was talking that much. It really is depressing. Even the hearth was affected by it, and that's saying something. Apollo's cabin tried to cheer everyone up by singing sing-alongs. It didn't help as the songs were sung half-heartedly. The bonfire, which is normally 20 feet high, bright purple, and so hot that the whole marshmallow would burst into flames. But tonight, the fire was 5 feet high, barely warm, and the marshmallows hardly tan. Dionysus left early, but Naruto caught the distasteful look that was sent to Tantalus. Apollo's cabin finishes the last song. "Well, that was lovely," says the child eater. In Tantalus' hand is a stick with a roasted marshmallow. He reaches for the marshmallow, but the marshmallow flies off of the stick. Tantalus makes a mad grab for it, but the marshmallow commits suicide by diving into the flames. Tantalus smiles like nothing happened. Now then. Some announcements about tomorrow's schedule, says Tantalus. Sir. Percy quickly says. Tantalus's eye twitches. Our kitchen boy has something to say. Asks the child eater. Some of the Ares campers snicker at Percy. Naruto can tell that no on. From Ares. Cabin like Percy from how he humiliated them last summer and how he defeated Ares in a duel as well. Percy stood up from his set and soon Annabeth joins him. We have an idea to save the camp, said Percy. Everyone was dead silence. The thought of the camp being saved gotten everyone attention. Hell, the bonfire became bright yellow and grew in size. Indeed, says Tantalus not truly caring. Well, if there is anything to do, chariots. The golden fleece. We know where it is, says Percy. Naruto eyes widened. He remembers reading about the golden fleece. A golden winged ram was sacrificed by Phrixus to Poseidon. Phrixus then hanged the sacrifice on an oak tree in a grove sacred to Ares. Peleus sent Jason and the Argonauts on a quest to get the golden fleece to end the drought. The golden fleece, it could cure Talia's tree from whatever poison that is pledging it. The fleece can save the camp. I'm certain of it, Annabeth pleads. Nonsense, we don't need saving, says Tantalus. All eyes went to the child eater, staring at him and promises him pain if he doesn't say anything else. Besides, quickly adding, the Sea of Monsters. That's hardly an exact location. You wouldn't even know where to look. Yes, I would. Annabeth looks at Percy with uncertainty. 30, 31, 75, 12. Stats Percy. Okay, thank you for sharing those meaningless numbers, said Tantalus. They're sailing coordinates, latitude and longitude. Learned about it in social studies, says the son of Poseidon. 30 degrees, 31 minutes north, 75 degrees, 12 minutes west. He's right. The Gray sisters gave us those coordinates. That's be somewhere in the Atlantic, off the coast of Florida. The Sea of Monsters. We need a quest, said Annabeth. Wait just a minute, said Tantalus. The campers didn't listen to Tantalus chanting, we need a quest. We need a quest. The flames of the bonfire grows in size. It isn't necessary, Tantalus says as he tries to calm the campers down. We need a quest. We need a quest. Fine, Tantalus shouted. You brats want me to assign a quest? Yes. Very well. I shall authorize a champion to undertake this perilous journey, to retrieve the golden fleece and bring it back to camp. Or die trying, said Tantalus. Percy became excited when Tantalus looked at him. Percy getting the chance to save not just Grover, but also the camp. I will allow our champion to consult the oracle, and choose 2 companions for the journey. And I think the choice of champion is obvious. The champion should be one who has earned the camp's respect, who has proven resourceful in the chariot races and courageous in the defense of the camp. You shall lead this quest, Clarice, announced Tantalus. Percy wasn't expecting that. He brought up the quest, he brought up the fleece, he brought up the location of the Sea of Monsters. Those at Ares' table cheered and yelled, Clarice! Clarice! Clarice stood up looking a little stunned, then pride came over her face. I accept the quest, says Clarice with pride. Wait, shouted Percy, Grove is my friend. Sit down. You had your chance last year, yelled out Mark. Yeah, he wants to be in the spotlight again, Sherman added. Clarice glares at Percy. I accept the quest. I, Clarice, daughter of Ares, will save the camp, says Clarice with pride. The Ares campers cheered louder. Annabeth protests, soon others from her cabin joins in. Sides were being taken. Chaos erupted till a wave of death washes over one. Naruto stands up and eerily calmly talks to them with a strange echo in his voice. You will all calm down. We have our champion, there will be no ifs, ands, or buts. Naruto rubs the side of his head and groans. Yes, says Tantalus taken aback what Naruto just did. Why don't I tell you all a ghost story? Said Tantalus. No, you'll most likely will tell them what you did and try to scare everyone. Tantalus gives Naruto a dirty look. Why don't I tell you all a story from Delos? Says Naruto. That catches everyone attendant. Most of the campers heard the rumors where Naruto was from and wanted to know. Those at Athena's cabin wanted to learn as much as they could about Delos since there was very limited information about the island. It starts at my home village Konoha. There when you graduate from the academy, you are given the rank genin. 3 genin to each squad with a jonin as their sensei, Together they train together and take missions together, says Naruto as he looks around having everyone from Camper, Dryad, Naiad, Satyrs, even Tantalus is listening. In my squad was Uchiha Sasuke, Haruno Sakura, and me Uzumaki Naruto along with our sensei Hatake Kakashi. We trained for 6 months and took several missions during those months, till one day Kakashi sensei told us he'd sign us up for the Chunin exams. In order to move up in rank and become a Chunin you have to pass the Chunin exams, says Naruto. They can't be that hard, right? Said Mark. People died during these exams, Naruto quickly says back. That catches everyone off guard. An exam so hard people die during it. They wonder what kind of people are over there. I don't know what the exams are like for the other villagers. But in Konoha had 3 parts to the exam which we took. The first exam was a written one. Everyone has 10 questions and they all start out with a perfect score. With each wrong question you lose a point and you lose 2 points for every time you were caught cheating, said Naruto. There has to be more to it than that, right? Questions Annabeth. Of course. All the questions are too hard for any genin to answer by themselves. The true purpose of the test was to cheat. To gather the answers without being caught, for getting caught could mean life or death. And I didn't know that and didn't answer any questions. Naruto sheepishly says. Everyone couldn't believe in what they just heard. That Naruto passed a test that was meant to cheat on and didn't cheat at all and didn't answer any of the questions. The 10th question was given 45 minutes after the test begun. So I bet everything on the finally question. The question itself was to have the nerves to finish. The instructor used mind games and tricked people into giving up, saying that if they took the 10th question and still failed they would be stuck as a genin for the rest of their lives, said Naruto. Annabeth was so fascinated. She heard of the stories about Delos and how the people there had abilities that gave them an edge over normal demigods. But there was no information about the military or how they move up in rank. The thought of a test was made to fail others and encourages cheating left her speechless. Right as the written exam was over, the second exam started and this one made or broke a lot of people. The second exam was a survival exam. The exam itself took place at Training Ground 44, but otherwise was known as the Forest of Death, said Naruto. The Forest of Death? Asks Percy. The Fours. Was the toughest training ground that Konoha has. Not only is the forest thick of very large and tall trees, but with the vicious animals, deadly insects, and poisonous plants. Just outside of the Forest of Death each team is given one of 2 scrolls, a Heaven Scroll or an Earth Scroll. The purpose of this test was to carry valuable information through enemy territory, while making it out alive. In order to complete the test each team had to get the other scroll and head to the tower that is in the center of the forest, said Naruto. What if you looked inside the scroll you were given? Asked Annabeth. You'd fall asleep. There is a 5-day time limit and when you open the scroll you'd fall asleep and miss the deadline. During the test we were attacked by someone who shouldn't have been there. The traitor Orochimaru, one of the Sannin, Naruto says with disgust. The blonde will always blame Orochimaru for Sasuke leaving Konoha. Sure he knew about Sasuke's want for revenge against his Br. Other Itachi and would do anything to get it. Orochimaru went after Sasuke only because he couldn't defeat Itachi. Orochimaru attacked us and gave Sasuke a curse mark, which caused Sasuke to pass out from the pain from what I heard. I was knocked out before that though. Sakura was the only one who was still conscious. She set up traps and protected us till we woke up. During that time she was at a CKED by another team till some of our friends came and helped her defend us. With that said and done we barely finished the second part of the Chunin exam, said Naruto. What was the third part? Written and survival were the first 2. What was the final? Asks Annabeth. The third was battling. Everyone looked at Naruto with excitement. There were too many of us so they held a preliminary round to weed out more of us out. You see during the third part of the exam nobles and others come to watch the fights and that's how we get more missions in the future. During the preliminary we see our future opponents later on. It was truly amazing, seeing all those people fighting to make it into the finals and show everyone what they can do. I won my match through luck. Yeah, luck. Hee hee, laughs Naruto while rubbing the back of his head. No way in hell is he going to tell everyone how he used a fart that helped him win his fight. He'd be the laughingstock of camp. After the preliminary round ended. Yes, that's good and all. But Clarice needs to head for the Oracle. Everyone groans, I don't care. The Oracle, my dear. Go on. Says Tantalus. The daughter of war shifted uncomfortably, not wanting to be put in the spotlight. If it mean to have being Tantalus's pet, then she doesn't want the glory. Sir, go. Snarling at her, she bowed awkwardly and hurried off to the big house. What about you, Percy Jackson? No comments from our dishwasher. Percy doesn't say anything. Good, and let me remind everyone, no one leaves this camp without my permission. Anyone who tries, well, if they survive the attempt, they will be expelled forever, but it won't come to that. The Harpies will be enforcing curfew from now on, and they are always hungry. Good night, my dear campers. Sleep well, says Tantalus. The child eater waves his hand for the fire to go out, but nothing happened. He does it again and nothing happens. Naruto smirks before he waves his hand, causing it to extinguish. Everyone headed to their cabins for the night. Before Naruto got to his cabin, Clarice stops him. The daughter of war looked like she seen a ghost, which in a sense is true with the Oracle being undead. Naruto, he knew it was serious. I've decided that you're coming with me on this quest, says Clarice. Are you sure? I mean, wouldn't you want Mark or Sherman? Asked Naruto. No, they need to stay here and protect the camp. Besides, if there is anyone I'd have watching my back would be you, says Clarice. Naruto smiles. Right, I'll meet you first thing in the morning, says Naruto. And make sure you don't oversleep. I know you stay in cabin 10, but doesn't mean you have to get your beauty sleep, smirking Clarice. You're just jealous that I'm pretty, counters Naruto. Start that you and your new nickname will be Pretty Boy, says Clarice. Midnight. The clouds slowly move out of the moon, shining its light down. A figure wearing a black coat that covers their whole body along with a hood over their head too. In front of the figure is Tantalus hanging upside down, still asleep. With a hard punch, Tantalus wakes up screaming, panicking, trying to figure out what's going on. Tantalus, son of Zeus, but better known as Child Eater, says the cloaked figure with a muffled voice. Who are you? Panics Tantalus. Now that Tantalus' vision is clearing, he has a better look at the figure. The black coat doesn't help figure out who it is. Tantalus gets a glance at the figure's face, but only saw a mask. What he saw was an everlasting smile, a permanent smile, a Glasgow smile. Good, you're awake, says the figure. What do you want? Says a panicking Tantalus. I want to know, did you join Kronos? And no. I may hate Olympus for what they did to me, but I'm no fool. My punishment would be worse than it is now, yelled Tantalus. Then why weaken the camp? Because I have no love for these heroes. Spiting the word heroes with venom. Then you're no use to me. And with that, Tantalus is knocked out. The figure sinks into the shadows, leaving Tantalus to be found in the morning. On the other side of camp, the figure comes out of the shadow. Did you learn anything? Asks Beckendorf. No. The figure pulls his hood down, showing blonde hair, and the mask folds into a pair of aviators. Naruto takes the sunglasses, quickly grabbing a trash can and puking into it. I hate shadow traveling. It feels as though every cell in my body is on fire, says Naruto as he pukes some more. Beckendorf shakes his head. He completed the coat that Naruto is wearing just the other day. The coat itself can use shadow travel like hellhounds and the children of Hades. But as he found out, shadow travel takes a lot out of the user. Naruto puking his guts out is just putting it mildly. It's true. Lee amazes him by using spoils of war to make equipment. The coat is just the beginning. The thought of making a shield that can turn monsters into stone like how Medusa can. There was so many possibilities. Cleaning around his mouth. Tantalus isn't a traitor. He hasn't joined Kronos, but he does want us all to be dead, said Naruto. Naruto took a gamble by telling Beckendorf about a traitor in camp. Beckendorf is in a position that is a lifeline to the whole camp. He makes sure that the weapons and armor that all the campers use, without Beckendorf the camp won't survive. Well, that's a bust. You need to get to bed. I heard Clarice asked you to join her on her quest, says Beckendorf. I better get as much sleep possible. Night Big Beck, said Naruto. Dawn. The sun just barely rises. Naruto waits for Clarice to arrive. He takes out a scroll, remembers that there is still items inside. Unrolls the scroll and pumps some chakra through the scroll and armor pops out. A vest like the one Kakashi wore lies on the ground. 2 shin guards that are made out of bronze and leather, and finally a single forearm protector which is made out of bronze and leather. Taking off his scarf and picks up the vest. Naruto puts the vest on and checks all the pouches for any items only to find them all empty. The blonde wraps his scarf around his neck once more, kneels down and straps on the shin guards, making sure that they are tight enough so they don't slip off, but not tight enough to cut off circulation. Then he puts on the forearm protector on his right arm and checks it like his shin guards. With a final check to all his supplies, bronze kunai in his leg holster and spar in his back pouch, bronze shuriken in his back pouch, vials of nectar, and bags of ambrosia. Standing up and turns around to see Clarice walking towards Naruto. Clarice is wearing full Greek armor that's painted red to symbolize blood and wearing a boar-shaped helmet. The daughter of war is carrying her shield, spear, a sword, and a knife strapped to her leg, along with a bag hanging off her shoulder. She sticks her spear into the ground. I see you finally put some armor on, Hearth boy. Well, we are going on a dangerous quest. It's only natural for me to have protection. And you brought Lamer, said Naruto. Its name is Mamer, shouted back Clarice. That's what everyone calls it behind your back, you know. Clarice glares at Naruto to shut up. Sorry. So how are we getting out to sea? Asks Naruto. We'll go to the beach and I'll summon our ride, said Clarice. They head down to Fireworks Beach where the docks are at. Clarice takes out a drachma. Naruto catches sight of it before Clarice tosses it. On it is a picture of Ares and on the other side is the Empire State Building. They want Ed a few seconds before the water bubbles. A Confederate ironclad warship with the words CSS Birmingham on the side slowly rises out of the water. Wow, how did you do that? Asked Naruto. I asked Ares to help me with this quest. When someone dies in battle they have to serve Ares for so much time before they can rest. It's the price to pay for losing in battle, answered Clarice. Naruto whistles as they board the ship. Naruto's eyes went wide when he seen the crew. GG Ghost, shouted Naruto. The son of Hestia jumps behind Clarice using her as a shield. What the hell, Naruto? Shouted a blushing Clarice. Naruto pokes his head out from behind Clarice. They're ghosts, yelled Naruto. Damn it, Naruto. Clarice grabs the blonde and forces him in front of her. She slaps Naruto to stop him from trying to run away. They can't do anything, damn it. Tell the captain that we are ready to go. Order Clarice. The ship started to set course for the Sea of Monsters. Naruto kept close to Clarice, not fully trusting the ghosts. Clarice just shakes her head at Naruto's fear of ghosts. One of the strongest campers is afraid of ghosts. Night came and went with Naruto not getting any sleep at all. He really didn't trust those zombies. Clarice told him that they weren't ghosts, but zombies after she gotten tired of him calling them ghosts then passing out. Riz-chan, do you smell that? Asked Naruto. Smell what? Questions Clarice. It smells like donuts, said Naruto. Ah, that was day. The Stoll brother smuggle in donuts in from a nearby gas station. Sadly it was his first and only time having donuts. The sugar rush that he got took most of the day to wear off. He even outran a dryad which was sawing something. Naruto looks over off the starboard seeing a hydra with eight heads wearing a plastic bib with writing on it. From what he can see Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson are fighting the hydra. Clarice seeing it. There. Prepare the 32-pounder. Orders the daughter of war after she found the hydra. They're too close, milady, said one of the gunners. Damn the heroes. Full steam ahead, orders Clarice. Aye, milady. Fire at will, captain. Clarice shouted more orders out. With a loud boom echoed. Then the next thing the hydra explodes showing Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson in green slime. They all turn around looking the ironclad. Clarice smiles at them. Losers. But I suppose I have to rescue you. Come aboard, said Clarice. A ladder is thrown overboard. First Annabeth came up, then Percy, and finally Tyson. Percy was a little freaked out by the zombies. Tyson looked like he wanted to take apart the ironclad to find out how it works, and Annabeth was staring at Naruto. Why are you staring at me? Asked Naruto. You're the son of Hestia, stated Annabeth. Yes, this wasn't the first time someone said that. All of Athena's cabin wanted to find out more. It sometimes got out of hand. They wanted to know more about Delos, but Naruto never did pay attention in class, so he wasn't much help for them. And you're from Delos, stated Annabeth. Sigh, Annabeth, right. Look, I know you want to ask questions, but they're going to have to wait. Naruto quickly says. Clarice shows them around the ship. Naruto could tell that Percy and Annabeth really didn't care about the tour, though Tyson did when he'd seen the engine and boilers. The dead Confederate sailors asked where they were from. Annabeth said Virginia. They approved of her. When they asked Percy where he was from, he said New York. They hissed at him and cursed about a Yankee. The dead Confederate sailors asked Clarice and Naruto when they first boarded. They didn't show much interest, with Clarice being from Arizona and Naruto being from Delos. You were in so much trouble, said Clarice. They all went to the CSS Birmingham captain's quarters for dinner. Tantalus expelled you for eternity. Mr. D said if any of you show your faces at camp again, he'll turn you into squirrels and run you over with his SUV, stated Clarice. That thing still works? Naruto quickly asks. Yes, I'm surprised he didn't turn you and the Stoll brothers into squirrels, said Clarice. He did, but I changed back after a while, said Naruto. Did they give you the ship? Asked Percy. Course not. My father did, said Clarice. Ares. Clarice sneered. You think your daddy is the only one with sea power? The spirits on the losing side of every war owe a tribute to Ares. That's their curse for being defeated. I prayed to my father for a naval transport, and here it is. These guys will do anything I tell them. Won't you, Captain? Asked Clarice. The captain stares at Percy with hunger in his eyes. If it means an end to this infernal war, ma'am, peace at last, we'll do anything. Destroy anyone. Destroy anyone. I like that, said Clarice. Only you would like that, mutters Naruto. Clarice, Luke might be after the fleece, too. We saw him. He's got the coordinates and he's heading south. He has a cruise ship full of monsters. Good. I'll blow him out of the water, said Clarice. You don't understand. We have to combine forces. Let us help you. No. Clarice hits the table. This is my quest, smart girl. Finally I get to be the hero, and you two will not steal my chance, shouted Clarice. Why did you only take one person with you? Asked Percy. I asked Naruto because he's the only one I know that'll watch me back. What? You couldn't trust anyone from your cabin? Questioned the son of Poseidon. Shut up, Percy. I don't need them. Are you? Yelled Clarice. Clarice, Tantalus is using you. He doesn't care about the camp. He'd love to see it destroyed. He's setting you up to fail, says Percy. How dare you? What give you the right to say that? Naruto glares at Percy. We've been fighting monsters for the past year, protecting the camp while everyone else was gone. Yelled Naruto. All you need to know is that I'm finishing the quest and you're not helping. On the other hand, I can't let you go, says Clarice. So we're prisoners? Questions Annabeth. Guess. For now. Clarice propped her feet up onto the table. Captain, take them below. Assign them hammocks on the berth deck. If they don't mind their manners, show them how we deal with enemy spies, orders Clarice. The captain does as he's order, taking them to the berth deck. Naruto looks over to Clarice. He knows how much she wants to complete this quest, wanting to prove to everyone, but most of all to Ares. Everyone in camp knows how much he likes his sons more than his daughters. Clarice is he first one in a long time since a daughter of Ares went on a quest, let alone leading it. Riss-chan, snapping Clarice out of her thought, everything is going to be fine. You'll complete the quest, and prove to everyone just how great you really are. You have my word, and I never break my word, says Naruto, which causes the daughter of War's cheek to burn red. The next day, Naruto yawns for another sleepless night. keeping an eye open for the zombies that tried anything. He also didn't like that Percy and Annabeth forced their way onto this quest. A friend of theirs is in trouble and they want to help. He gets it. He'd do the same thing, but also wouldn't just leave to save them. It shows that they have no faith in his or Clarice's abilities. As the blonde walks down the hallway, a wave of anger and hatred washes over him like the when the Kyuubi wanted out. But it was different. The Kyuubis wanted death and destruction for revenge. This was more for the joy of death. The son of Hes. Tia turns down a corridor to see an Iris messenger. In Messenger he was the cause for the anger and hatred. A man wearing a black leather jacket, military-style haircut, and red-tinted sunglasses. Ares, the god of war, Clarice's father. I don't want excuses, little girl, growled Ares. Why yes father, Clarice mumbled. You don't want to see me mad, do you? Threatens Ares. No, father. No, father, Ares mimicked, you're pathetic. I should have let one of my sons take this quest, says Ares. I'll succeed, Clarice promised, her voice trembling. I'll make you proud. You better, warning her, you asked me for this quest, girl. If you let that slimeball Jackson kid steal it from you. A chain shoots out piercing the metal wall near the messenger. Clarice turns her head to see Naruto walking towards them. His eyes locking with Ares. You threaten my friend. You berated her. You have no faith in Clarice. Threaten her again. I don't give a fuck who you are. I'll fucking kill you, stated Naruto. Watch what you say boy. Threatens Ares. You can't touch me. As long I don't challenge you, you can't harm me directly, stated Naruto. Naruto rips his chain through the steam causing the image of Ares to disappear. Clarice was dumbfounded that someone just threatened a god, let alone that someone came and defended her. Naruto, why did you do that? Ares will now try to fall in battle, stated Clarice. Because you're my friend, Riss-chan. I'm willing to go to the deepest pits in the underworld, willing to go to the tops of Olympus, willing to go to the deepest parts of the oceans for my friends. I don't care who stands in my way, I will always protect my friends. Olympus could be burning and I would only care about my friends' safety. For Olympus can be rebuilt, friendships can't. Naruto says with passion and confidence. Clarice's cheeks redden at the lengths that Naruto is willing to take for his friends. Willing let the world burn for the safety of his friends. For the world can be rebuilt, but people can't. The makings of a great leader that cares for his people and not for power. You didn't have to protect me, Naruto, says Clarice as she turns her head away from the blonde. I know, but I couldn't just stand there while Ares talked to you like that. I guess it has to do with who my mom is, said Naruto. They head up to the deck. Clarice takes a pair of binoculars from a zombie officer and peered toward the horizon. At last, Captain, full steam ahead. Clarice orders. The engine groaned as the ship increased in speed. Tyson mutters something about the strain is too much and that the ship wasn't made for deep water. A mass of rock rises out of the waters, creating a 100-foot cliff to the north. The clouds darken with the sound of thunder to the south. Hurricane, asked Annabeth. If it were that simple. Charybdis, answered Naruto. Charybdis was once a beautiful naiad that is the daughter of Poseidon and Gaia. During the feud between Zeus and Poseidon, Charybdis rode waves after Poseidon stirred up storms to take beaches, villages, fields, and forests to be claimed by the sea. Zeus became so enraged that he turned her into a monster forever. Are you crazy? Annabeth shouted as she pales. Only way into the sea of monsters. Straight between Charybdis and her sister Scylla, said Clarice. Scylla was once a beautiful nymph. The sea god Glaucus fell madly in love, but she fled to land where he could not go. Glaucus went to the sorceress Circe to ask her for a love potion to melt Scylla's heart. The sea god told Circe his tale with the sorceress falling in love with him. She wooed him with sweet words and her looks, but Glaucus was set for only Scylla. Furious with Scylla because she couldn't get Glaucus to fall for her, took a vial of powerful poison and poured it in the pool where Scylla bathed. As soon the nymph entered the pool transformed into what she is now. What do you mean the only way? The sea is wide open. Just sail around them, Percy says. Clarice rolls her eyes. Don't you know anything? If I tried to sail around them, they would just appear in my path again. If you want to get into the sea of monsters, you have to sail through them, answered Clarice. What about the crashing rocks? That's another gateway. Jason used it, said Annabeth. Jason and the Argonauts only survived because of the protection from Hera. Even with the protection they used speed to quickly get by. This ship doesn't have that speed from the sounds the engine is giving off, answered Naruto. Annabeth blushes for forgetting about that information about Jason. Set course for Charybdis, orders Clarice. Aye, milady. The engine groans louder. The whole ship shakes from the engine as though the ship is fixing to fall apart. Clarice, Charybdis sucks up the sea. Isn't that the story? Asked Percy. 3 times a day, said Naruto. Clarice gives Naruto a stench eye, and spits it back out again. Yeah. What about Skyla? She lives in a cave, up on those cliffs. If we get too close, her snaky heads will come down and start plucking sailors off the ship, answered Clarice. No, if Skyla doesn't get her easy meat, she might pick up the whole ship. Besides, she's too high to make a good target. My cannons can't shoot straight up. Charybdis just sits there at the center of her whirlpool. We're going to steam straight towards her, train our guns on her, and blow her to Tartarus, yelled Clarice. Percy seemed to relax a bit when Clarice said that. Naruto groans about Clarice forgetting that Odyssey had to make a choice between Charybdis or Skyla. Lost a whole ship, or only a few men. Odyssey chose to sacrifice his men so he would have a ship. Naruto knew that Clarice cares for anyone under her command. She's willing to sacrifice the whole ship to make sure that everyone is safe. The winds picked up as they draw closer. The red Ares flag whips in the wind. Charybdis's breathing can be heard. Inhaling draws the ship in further. Exhaling causes 10-foot waves. Every 3 minutes Charybdis would inhale everything with half a mile radius. In order to be out of the radius would put the ship right next to the cliffs. Charybdis roars creating a vortex. Full reverse. Get us within firing range. Make ready starboard cannons. Clarice screams over the roar. The ship strains from full steam ahead to full reverse. The propeller trying to slow the ship down, but the ship kept sliding towards the center, towards Charybdis. One of the sailors burst onto the deck. His uniform was smoking and his beard was on fire. Boiler room overheating. Ma'am, she's going to blow. Well, get down there and fix it, orders Clarice. Can't. We're vaporizing in the heat. Clarice hits the railing. All I need is a few more minutes. Just enough to get in range. We're going in too fast. Prepare yourself for death. No, I can fix it, says Tyson. Clarice turned her head to Tyson. You questioned the daughter of war. He's a Cyclops. He's immune to fire. And he knows mechanics, said Annabeth. Go, orders Clarice. Tyson. No. Percy grabs his arm. It's too dangerous, says Percy. Tyson pats Percy's hand. Only way, brother. I will fix it. Be right back, said Tyson before he heads down below. The ship was close enough to Charybdis. A black crag of coral just below the surface. The large teeth all jagged, with fish and driftwood stuck between them. The mouth wide open sucking in sharks, schools of fish, and a giant squid. Lady Clarice, starboard and forward guns are in range. Fire, ordered Clarice. The sound of thunder echoes 3 folds. One of the cannonballs hit Charybdis's teeth, another went into the depths of her maw, and the last hit some debris and bounces back killing the Ares flag. Again, orders Clarice. The gunners reload the cannons. As they were the sound of the engine becomes stronger and doesn't sound like it's fixing to give out. The ship starts to pull away from Charybdis. Tyson did it, Annabeth said. Wait, we need to stay close, says Clarice. We'll die. We have to move away. Riss-chan, Percy's right. We have to leave while we can, said Naruto. Charybdis shuts her mouth. Then water washes over her. It was the calm, then chaos came. Charybdis ejected everything she sucked up. When she did, a 40-foot wave hits the ship causing it to be hurled towards the cliffs. A sailor run up from the hold. The engine is about to blow. Where's Tyson? Percy demands. Still down there, holding it together somehow, though I don't know for how much longer. We have to abandon ship, says the captain. No, yelled Clarice. We have no choice, milady. The hull is already cracking apart. She can't. The captain became another victim to Skyla. Strange enough, his leather boots were all that remained. Skyla! Yelled one of the sailors. Another one of Skyla's head shot out, taking the sailor. It happened so fast there was really nothing they could do. Percy takes out his sword Riptide and takes a swing at another head and misses. Everyone get below, yelled Percy. We can't. Clarice drew her sword. Below deck is in flames. Get to the lifeboats, yelled Naruto as he runs over to the lifeboats. They'll never get clear of the cliffs. We'll all be eaten, said Clarice. We don't have much of an option. We can defend against Skyla, then we can Charybdis, yelled Naruto. Clarice and a few of the undead sailors uncovered one of the lifeboats. Naruto looks over to see Percy toss Annabeth what to be a thermos, before heading towards the hatch below deck. Percy never made it as Skyla picked him up. The son of Poseidon stabbed Skyla in the eye, letting him go. But it didn't matter as the ironclad exploded. The fire didn't harm Naruto, but the force the explosion knocked him overboard with him blacking out. Naruto groans as he slowly opens his eyes. His vision clears up as the ceiling comes into focus. Rubbing his head a bit as he tries to sit up. Muscles ache from not sleeping well for the past few days. The blonde looks around as his mind finally wakes up. The room is Spartan with just a bed, dresser, and a nightstand. Naruto feels a breeze as he notices an open window that is gently blowing the curtain. Standing from the bed, the blonde looks down. Clad in only his boxers, he looks around for his clothes, armor, and equipment. He head through the drawers only to find them empty. No clothes or weapons in a strange place that could be hostile. The blonde looks at the window, which is becoming a quick exit if things go south. The only door in the room opens up. A woman walks through it and sees that Naruto is awake and up. She has short sandy blonde hair with bright blue eyes. Her skin tone gives away that she spends most of her time outside in the sun. She is wearing mostly animal pelts for clothing. Oh, hello, she says in a cheerful voice. I was afraid that Thanatos came for your soul. Where am I? Naruto asks. Oh, you're on the Isle of Lemnos. My name is Lily Ann. What's your name? Lily Ann asked. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto answered. The Isle of Lemnos sounded so familiar, but Naruto couldn't put his finger on it. It was right there on the tip of his tongue, but couldn't grasp it. All he remembers that Jason visited the isle during his journey for the Golden Fleece. Where are my things? Asked Naruto. Oh, they're being cleaned. You washed up on shore only a few hours ago. The king wanted to see you when you woken up. Please follow me, said Lily Ann. Can't I have some clothes? I'm just in my boxers, said Naruto. Naruto doesn't like standing in his boxers in front of people he doesn't know. He was only willingly to get undressed for doctors, but that was it. Lily Ann leaves to only come back with a toga. Naruto's left eye twitches at the sight of the toga. I'm sorry, but I am not wearing that. I'd gladly walk around in my boxers, thank you very much, stated Naruto. He looks down, then at the toga, then back down. The son of Hestia just sighs, grabs the toga and puts it around his waist. Naruto isn't liking this at all. First, he doesn't know where Clarice, Percy, Annabeth, or Tyson are. Then he wakes up on an isle that took his clothes, armor, and weapons. Finally now he has to wear a toga. Worst day ever. They go outside and onto the street. Naruto gets a good look at the buildings. Most of the buildings are made out of marble, stone, and clay. It reminds him of the pictures of Greece that he'd seen while studying, but instead of being ruins, looked like they were just built the other day. The people are wearing togas and animal pelts. Everyone was going by doing their business. What caught Naruto's attention was that everyone looks like they were 19 and younger. No one was older than 20. He looks over to Lily Ann and notices that she looks to be maybe 15. Where are the adults? Asked Naruto. Adults? You mean the ones before? Asks Lily Ann. The ones before. The adults. You know the parents for everyone here, said Naruto. Anyone that is 18 must have at least one child before they are sacrificed to our King Ball, answered Lily Ann. Ball. Naruto whispers, trying to remember that name and also filing away the sacrificing part for later. They arrived at the palace. The palace itself is quite large, mostly it being made out of freshly polished marble. Armed guards are at each end of the corridors. wearing gold armor, wielding large shields with a symbol of a bull and holding golden-tipped spears. Each of the guard looks to be 19 years ago. They enter the throne room where the king of Lemnos, a boy, sit on top of the throne. Naruto knew he was standing in front of a god, because his instincts flared up. The king doesn't look to be 14 years ago boy. The boy has short brown hair, dull brown eyes, like he doesn't truly care to be there, and he looks like he hasn't eaten lately. Lily Ann kneels down. Your Majesty, I have brug. HTU, the boy that washed up onto shore only a few hours ago, says Lily Ann. Yes, I can see that. Tell me, who are you, if I may ask? It's only polite that you give me your name first, Naruto stated. The king smirks. I am King Ball, king of Lemnos. Naruto's eyes widened as he finally remembers about the Isle of Lemnos. Lemnos was cursed because the women didn't properly worship Aphrodite. The goddess of love cursed the women to smell so bad that their husbands abandoned them for Thracian women, and in return the women killed all of the men during one night. The only survivor was the old King Thos, because his daughter didn't wish for her father to die. Hypsipyle became queen and ruled Lemnos till Jason arrived with his Argonauts during the journey for the Golden Fleece. Jason stayed on Lemnos for 2 years and gave Hypsipyle twins, 2 sons. But then the son of Hestia remembers who Baal is, otherwise known as Moloch or Baal of Carthage. The worship of Baal was called Baal Hammon Wick. Called forth the sacrifices of children so the crops could grow that year. The nobles would buy children from poor families, forces the mothers to watch as their child's throats be slit without crying or moaning for their lost. It continued till Romans sacked Carthage, burning it to the ground with nothing remaining. Sitting there in his throne with that smug look on his face, rage builds inside of Naruto's chest as this false god sits before him, demanding for the death of children, taking them away from their families, forcing mothers to watch. Kill him, Kubi roared from inside Naruto's mind. The blonde was very tempted to listen to the fox, but Naruto knew that he couldn't just kill Baal, for the blonde knew that he wasn't strong enough and that he needed his stuff first. Naruto thinks of ways to hit Baal that would cause everyone on Lemnos to uprise against him. I am Uzumaki Naruto, son of Hestia, yelled Naruto. All the guards and servants heard Naruto, a son of Hestia, is standing in front of them, for they knew that Hestia is a goddess of family and being one of the 3 virgin maidens. Baal was taken aback by this. For Hestia, one of the virgin goddesses, to have a child didn't look too good for him. He knew he have to play this out just right. Why are you here? The god of fertility asked. I was sent on a quest, find an island thought to be lost, answered Naruto. There was no way in Hades was Naruto going to tell the location of the Golden Fleece. It's bad enough that they have to fight a Cyclops to get the fleece, he didn't need another trying to get it as well. An island that was thought to be lost. Yet another quest for another demigod to be killed. One, says Baal. Says the child killer. Naruto says bitterly. What was that? Demands Baal. Naruto could usually hold back his anger, but not this time. What Baal does to families draws the line. As the son of Hestia, the goddess of family will not stand for it. His mother may not do anything, but the blow. NDE wants nothing more than to kill Baal in the most painful way. I challenge you, Baal, for destroying families just so that crops may grow. I'll end your terror. The gods should have destroyed you and locked you up in Tartarus for all eternally. Naruto, you insulting brat. Guards, take him to the arena, orders Baal as 2 guards came from behind Naruto and grabs his arms. Naruto lets them take him. He wasn't going to waste chakra on escaping, and the blonde still doesn't know where his stuff is located. But Naruto knew with them taking him to the arena they have to give him weapons to have a fair fight. That's when he'll most likely get his stuff back. The son of Hestia is placed in a cell underneath arena. He can hear the cries of the people cheering above his head. It surprised him that everyone came to the arena so quickly. With nothing better to do, the blonde just sits down. After a few minutes Lily Ann came to the cell carrying a bag. I have been ordered to bring this to you, said Lily Ann. She sits the bag inside the cell. Naruto grabs the bag and opens it up. All of his stuff is inside it. Taking the toga off and quickly put his clothes and armor on, and does a quick Kaylee check to see if all of his equipment is there. Why are you doing this? Asked Lily Ann. Because of who my mother is. She is the goddess of family. What Ball does goes against everything that she protects. It makes me so angry. I just lost control. That bastard is going to die. Growls Naruto. Lily Ann doesn't know what to say. All her life she followed and worshipped Ball. She watched as those who turned 20 were sacrificed. She herself only had 2 more years before she has to have a child. Lily Ann was hoping that Naruto would agree to stay and be the father of her child, but now it doesn't seem that way. I can see the look on your face that you don't like this, says Naruto as he tightened his forearm guard. I was going to ask you to stay here on Lemnos. You see, I'm 16 and in 2 years I would have to give birth to a child. I was hoping that you would be the father, says Lily Ann. Naruto blushes. I'm sorry, but I would have to decline. I wouldn't have been able to stay anyway. I have to finish this quest and protect my home. But know this, after I'm done with Ball, you'll be able to have a child and see your grandchild. You have my word and that's Nindo. Naruto claims proudly. Guards came and takes Naruto to the arena. A bridge slides out and connects to the column in the middle of the arena that's surrounded by iron spikes 100 feet below. Naruto walks across the bridge and waits on the column which acts as a ring for fighting. The bridge slides back and another bridge slides out from the other side. Ball is sitting with a front row view stands up from his throne with a smug look on his face. People of Lemnos. The people of Lemnos cheer for their king. We have a demigod that wishes to change our way of life. He wants my death so that our crops won't grow, says Ball. The boos started. Not the first time I'd heard boos. This is like the Chunin exam all over again. Naruto smirks. They'll be shocked and surprised. Cracking his knocks. Who is the first to fall? Naruto asked. People of Lemnos. Our great beast hasn't eaten for some time. Release the beast, orders Ball. The crowd cheers thundering throughout the arena. Naruto waits for whatever creature that makes its appearance. The wait almost became unbearable. Then a small orange cat walks across the bridge. When the cat made it to the column, the bridge behind it slides back. Staring at the cat, there was only one cat that Naruto could think of, and this wasn't the one he'd wanted to fight. But soon those thoughts were dashed as flames burst and envelops the cat. When the flames died down, there was no cat, but a lion. A 3-story tall lion with shining golden fur with its mane made out of fire. Oh, that's badass. And Naruto stated. Oh, Naruto had seen some strange stuff, but that takes the cake. Seeing a cat walk out to fight him was disappointing, but then it transformed. Sure, the orange fur was cool and all, but now it was a huge lion with fire as a mane. I give you Mios, son of Maias. Ball shouted, causing everyone to cheer. Maias. Isn't that an Egyptian name? Is it possible that there are more than one pantheon? Naruto thought as he takes a few steps back from Mios. Pumping chakra through his leather bands, Epion founds out and his sword appears in his hand. Mios growls at Naruto's bronze sword. This made the blonde wonder why the lion doesn't like his sword. Only monsters growl at celestial bronze weapons, for it is the only thing that can kill them. This lion stares at it not out of hate, but fear. Slowly kneels down and lowers his sword to the ground. Mios keeps his eyes on the sword. Naruto slowly backs away from his sword. Mios walks forward toward the sword. When Mios gets to Naruto's sword, he sniffs it before he bats to sword off and over the edge. Shocked and stunned, that was a gift from Riz-chan. Looking at the lion, why? Asked Naruto. Mios stares into Naruto's eyes. A connection is made. Naruto sees an image of a man with a lion for a head standing over Mios when he was a cub. Making the connection that the man is Mios' father. Then the image changed to Ball throwing a net over Mios one day, capturing him. Ever since then, Mios has been forced to fight with the only meals he gets to eat are those he was to fight against. If Mios didn't fight properly in his fights, he would be punished by being hit with celestial bronze weapons. You're like me, you're being forced to do this. I'll protect you. I'll save you. The son of Hestia turned to Ball. I challenged you, Ball. And this is how you accept my challenge. I guess a god fears a demigod. Yelled Naruto. Now the blonde forced Ball into a corner. By challenging him in public like he did, the child killer now have to accept his challenge. Ball narrows his eyes at Naruto. Ball now have to accept his challenge, or his people will think that he isn't that powerful for a demigod to call him out like that. Ball stands up from his throne. You want a fight? Then defeat my champion. Then you can fight me, shouted Ball. The crowd goes wild at the announcement of the champion fighting. Mio's burst into flames and he changes back into his cat form. The column starts to turn. 6 stone slabs rise from the edge into the sky. Iron spikes come out of the stone slabs and railings rises creating a ring. The column stops spinning. The bridge slides out from the other side. Mios walks down the bridge and disappears into the darkness created by the stands above. I give you your champion. Hector, son of Heracles, announced Ball. Shit, frowns Naruto. Of course Naruto read about Heracles. The son of Zeus was and still is the great hero that ever came. The stories of his 12 labors, the search for the Golden Fleece, and his part in the Trojan War. Naruto has a feeling that he very may die in this fight. The ground shakes and came forth a giant of a man, easily standing 7 feet tall with muscles that would put any of the Ares kids to shame. He is wearing a lion-shaped helm, shoulder-plated lion claws, leaving his chest bare showing off a clawed scar, ripped shorts that were once pants, and sandals. Behind Hector are 2 servants, that each are struggling to hold massive gauntlets. Hector turns around, places his hands into the gauntlets and lifts them with ease. The 2 servants quickly run across the bridge before it slides back, leaving only Naruto and Hector on the column. Hector turns around and stares at Naruto. Hello, cousin, says Hector. Naruto keeps his eyes on the gauntlets for now he was a better view of them. A sneering lion at the front of the gauntlet of each one with short curved spikes like manes surround the rest of the gauntlet. I am my father's favorite son. He tasked me with labors which he did in his youth. This is my final labor before I become his champion. With your death, I will stand before him like a god, said Hector. Hector growls at Naruto. I will enjoy crushing you, yelled Hector. Nah, Naruto really doesn't know what he is insulting Hector or Heracles. Sure, he read the stories and came to the conclusion that he doesn't like Heracles. Sure, he did these labors that thought to be impossible to do, but he sounded like an ass. Chiron keeps documents that says what really happened on the quest that the hero went on. The old trainer doesn't let anyone read them, but the blonde broke into his office and read them anyway. That's how he found out about Zoe. Naruto may not like Heracles that much, but he did felt that Heracles was cheated by Eurystheus with 2 of the labors. Having help to slay the Lernaean Hydra and getting paid to clean the Augean stables. Having help is not cheating, because with a helping hand one can be stronger than by oneself. And getting paid to clean stables doesn't seem that bad. Naruto remembers he was paid to do dangerous missions outside of Konoha. So, how are we going to fight? Asks Naruto. That's too easy. We'll be fighting to the death. Lore. D-Ball will then name his right hand after I kill you, Hector proudly proclaim. Wow. I usually don't kill, but listening to you, I have a very strong urge to kill you, a deadpan Naruto says. Hector doesn't even waits for the death fight to begin and charges Naruto. The blonde quickly leaps over Hector and throws one of his kunai. The kunai bounces off of Hector's back. Naruto's eyes widen when he'd seen that. You may be wondering why your knife didn't pierce my skin. My armor is enchanted that I will never get hurt, stated Hector. Naruto pumps chakra through Epion to make heat rod extend out. The chain whip becomes bright red which burns into the floor. Naruto whips the chain at Hector who just blocks it with his gauntlet, quickly redirecting the chain whip to hit Hector's shoulder which does nothing. Hector grabs the chain whip and pulls Naruto towards him. The son of Hestia twists his body in midair where his feet are first. Stomping on Hector's face causes him to stumble back. Taking advantage of this, Naruto stomps Hector's right knee causing him to take a knee, ramming his shoulder into Hector and rams into the iron spikes behind him. Naruto grabs shoulder plates with chakra-infused hands to rip them off. Hector quickly shoves Naruto back and pulls himself off the iron spikes. Blood runs down his back from the new injuries. This of course shows Naruto that Hector can be hurt. To show that someone can die, all you have to do is show them that someone can bleed. Hector charges Naruto swinging his fists. Since Naruto is smaller than Hector, the blonde easily dodges Hector's assault. The son of Heracles hits the floor, causes a shock wave to hit Naruto into the railing. Hector rushes Naruto and hammers into the blonde's chest and stomach. Naruto kicks Hector in the balls and shoves him back, getting a breather before he pukes up blood. Checking his ribs and winces at a cracked or most likely a broken rib and bruised organs. But that didn't matter since the blonde can feel the Kyuubi healing his ribs already. Hector stands upright and glares at Naruto with hate-filled eyes that promised a slow and painful death. "I will enjoy crushing your skull beneath my foot," yelled out Hector. Naruto snaps his arm sharply, whipping his chain whip across the floor, forcing the tile to become loose. Hector loses his footing from the unstable flooring, takes a knee. Naruto rams into Hector, pushing him into another set of iron spikes. The son of Hestia grabs a pair of iron spikes just above Hector. He jumps up and pours chakra into his feet as he swings his body down, stamping on Hector's helmet. Then with another chakra-infused stomp breaks Hector's helmet. Standing up and throws his broken helmet at Naruto. "Armor is for the weak." Hector slams his fists into the floor, causing it to shack. But Naruto sticks to the floor with chakra in his feet. Rushing Naruto once more slams into him, sending the blonde to crash into the railing. The son of Hestia quickly gets away from the railing before Hector can get to him and pounds into his ribs again. Naruto whips his chain whip at Hector, wrapping it around one of Hector's gauntlets. The son of Heracles pulled Naruto and slams him into the floor, rolling between Hector's legs, and once more kicks the brute in the balls. Some would say that's fighting dirty, but Naruto is a shinobi and the shinobi don't fight by the rules. Getting pissed by the nut shots made the son of Heracles to slam his fists into the floor multiple times. Naruto didn't really have to worry about losing his balance. The blonde runs over to Hector and socks him in the jaw. Hector recovers and hits his gauntlets together, causing a high-pitched ring and blinding light. When Naruto's vision returns and the ringing in his ears died down, Hector was encouraging the crowd to cheer more and louder. Naruto takes out one of his kunai and runs over to Hector. The blonde punches Hector in the kidney, then stabs him in the right triceps and twists the blade. The gauntlet slips off. Naruto quickly Spartan kicks Hector away. The son of Hestia puts his right hand into the gauntlet and lifts it up. He struggles since he wasn't expecting the gauntlet to weigh so much. Hector raises his fist to smash Naruto, but the blonde beats it to him and punches the brute with the gauntlet. The son of Heracles loses his other gauntlet and Naruto claims it. Sporting both gauntlets and socks Hector in the ribs and uppercuts him in the jaw. Hector, not taking a beat lying down, dishes out some punches as well. He stays close to the floor in a low stance and moves around on all four. Naruto struggles with the gauntlet's weight, but uses his chakra to make it easier as he punches Hector. Hector grabs hold of Naruto and lifts him up, punches him in the face a few times with a headbutt as an added bonus. Naruto guards against Hector and counters with a punch to the jaw, then the temple, and finally in the right eye. Hector is forced to drop Naruto and he blonde uppercuts the brute with both fists. Stumbling back, Hector shacks his head as Naruto punches his ribs, trying to cave them in. Hector runs over to one of the stone slabs, ripping it up with great strength, and tosses it at the blonde. Naruto rolls underneath the flying slab. The son of Heracles grabs hold of Naruto once more and lifts him up. Not letting the brute have his way again, punches the brute in the jaw, then the temple, and finally in the right eye once again. Hector throws Naruto across the ring and into the railing. The railing nearly gives out from the impact. Hector ovies his hands into the floor and pulls in up with great strength, showing everyone that he is a true son of Heracles. The railing behind Naruto gives out and breaks. The blonde uses one of the spikes on the gauntlets to hold him from falling to his death. Pulling himself up and channels chakra to the soles of his feet, runs up the lifted ring, leaps into the air, channels chakra into his fists as he comes crashing down onto the lifted ring. The son of Heracles, who was struggling holding the ring up, wasn't expecting the sudden forced impact. Naruto leaps up and hits the lifted ring with another chakra-infused punch, then a second. And finally a third chakra-infused punch caused Hector to lose his grip and falls to the floor with the ring crushing his legs underneath. Naruto, not taking a chance, stomps both of his feet onto Hector's chest and pounds into his face. The crowd became quiet as Naruto pounds into Hector's face. Naruto blocks everything out of his mind as the beating continues, showing no mercy since Hector wasn't going to show him any. Cracks start to appear from Naruto's punches. Soon the column breaks and collapses, taking Naruto and Hector with it. Naruto and Hector fall through the ground as the foundations of the column gave out for the force of Naruto's chakra-infused punches. The blonde hits water below, struggles in the water before he breaks the surface. Ahing up water and he swims over to a ledge. The gauntlets transform into fingerless gloves with a metal plate on the back of each glove. He pulls himself up out of the water and catches his breath. The body of Hector is carried away by the current. Naruto reaches into his back pouch and pulls out a bag of ambrosia. He opens the bag and only takes a little bit and eats it. Any bruised, cracked, or broken bones heal along with any internal injuries. The blonde will remember Hector, for his death was by his hands. Naruto knew that he'd had to take a life in the career he'd chosen, and came to terms with it a long time ago when he saw Haku die in front of his eyes. "I will remember your name, Hector, son of Heracles," says the blonde. Naruto doesn't wait for long as he gets up and wanders through the sewers. Wandering through the darkness to find the light, Naruto begins to think on how to defeat Ball. The blonde knew he wasn't strong enough to defeat a god. There has to be a way to defeat Ball and come out alive. To defeat a god, to kill a god. Anchor. A voice whispers in Naruto's ear. The son of Hestia stops dead in his tracks. He looks around in the darkness. Holding out his hand, a small flames appears, lighting to path. Seeing that no one is there, Naruto continues onward. Anchor. Again Naruto stops and looks around. There is no one down here with him for that he can see. Shifting his eyes around looking for what could be in the sewers with him. Why do I keep hearing anchor? Is anchor supposed to mean something? What could? Naruto stops in mid-thought. Ball has lost many followers over the years. Without so many followers, Ball must be struggling to keep his physical form, which would mean he needs an anchor to stay in physical form. Destroy Ball's anchor. Free the people of Lemnos from Ball. But would Ball's anchor be? Asks Naruto. The only place that Naruto can think of where Ball may keep his anchor would be at the palace. Making his mind up, he heads to the nearest manhole. Using stealth to sneak through the city and made his way to the palace undetected. He made his way into the throne room still undetected. "And you said that he would die," yelled Ball. "Relax." A second voice echoes through the throne room, who knew he'd defeat and kill Hector. "He's from Delos and they have strong warriors from there. If it was a normal demigod, well, you know what would have happened." "Yes, I know what would have happened. Hector would have became Heracles' champion and Lemnos would have had his blessing for years to come. Now it is all gone. Are you sure your father is going to be released soon?" asked Ball. "Give it a few more months, but it will happen soon. The Greek pantheon will so be in chaos because of Kronos. It's all falling into place like the scroll said. The Lord of Time will rise. The Lord of Evil shall be freed. The Nine shall become one once more. The Earth's champion will cast false happiness through the eye. The two brothers shall end everything. Just make sure that your anchor doesn't get destroyed till then. Oh, don't worry about that. No one will attack me. The Greeks and Romans have too much anger for one another to do anything. The Egyptians are locked up. The Norse have the Jotun to deal with, and the Hindu are trying to find eternal peace," says Ball. "A new age is coming, and all the pantheons will be wiped out. The dice has been cast. Will the blue-eye sage save the world from death, or will the red-eye killer devour the world into darkness?" The voice laughs as it slowly fades away. Naruto was actually dumbfounded at what he just learned. First of all, there are more pantheons out there and each of them are in trouble. And second, the world is in danger of something coming to cast darkness over it. But the blonde has more important stuff that needs his attention now. Looking throughout the throne room to see what could be Ball's anchor. Ball ruled Lemnos for hundreds of years, if not thousands. No one would attack for they either worship him or feared him. Even with that, one can't be too careful. Most likely Ball had his anchor on his person. "You can come out now," Ball says as Naruto lands in front of him. "I'm surprised that you're still here. I would have fled after killing Hector." "That's where you were wrong. And hearing and seeing how you do things, I think Lemnos needs a new king," stated Naruto. "Oh, and you to be king?" questioned Ball. No, I don't want to be king. But knowing that you aren't ruling these people will give me some rest. Now face me, Naruto demands. Narrowing his eyes are the blonde. You dare challenge a god? Shouted Ball. That's the plan. I, Uzumaki Naruto, son of Hestia, challenges Ball, god of fertility. Challenges Naruto. Ball stands from his throne. Very well then, says Ball. Naruto throws a handful of shuriken at Ball. The god of fertility waves his hand, knocking the shuriken down. 3 Narutos rush Ball. He punches the first Naruto in the face, causing it to dispel, kicks the second, dispelling it, and shoves the third away, which dispels it. Heat rod bursts out of the floor and pierces Ball's left shoulder, grabbing the chain whip and pulls Naruto towards him. A fist meets Naruto's face, then grabs his vest and slams him into the floor. Naruto spits blood in Ball's eyes. The shinobi quickly scans Ball's body to find anything that might be a possible anchor. Ball grabs Naruto and throws him across the throne room, crashing into a pillar and goes through to hit a wall, then slides down to the floor. I will enjoy kill you, you little shit stain, yelled Ball. Bite me. Comes back Naruto, taking the nearby flames, gathers them in his hands and throws them at Ball. Ball jumps to the left and is met by a shadow clone throwing fire at him. Ball shields his face and chest as the flames lick his body. Taking advantage, rushes Ball with a shadow, forming the Rasengan in hand. Naruto kneels down, sliding and rams his Rasengan into Ball's unprotected stomach. The king of Lemnos slides back, dropping to his knees. Why? I am a god. How can you hurt me? Ball demands of Naruto. Because you agreed to duel me. It doesn't matter who you are, you have to follow the ancient laws for when a demigod challenges you, Naruto explains as his gauntlets fold out. Naruto uppercuts Ball, grabs his injured shoulder and slams him into the floor. Ball came back with a sharp kick to the stomach. Naruto doubles over. Ball knees Naruto in the stomach again, grabs his hands together and hits Naruto's back, causing the blonde to hit the floor. The king of Lemnos grabs the back of Naruto's vest and throws him into another pillar. The blonde groans as he spits some blood out of his mouth, slowly rising to his feet using the pillar as support. Ball smirks at the injured blonde. Are you ready to give you? Asked Ball. Fuck you. Naruto simple says, I don't know the meaning of giving up. Hearing Ball asking Naruto to give up re-energizes Uzumaki. Naruto doesn't give up. He doesn't know the meaning of give up. Dashing forward, the blonde throws kunai at Ball. He just hits them out of the way. The shinobi uses that distraction to get behind the pillar behind him. Folding out his gauntlets, pumps chakra through his arms, and starts to pound into the pillar. Cracks start to appear at the bottom and at the top. With one final punch causes the pillar to fall over onto Ball. Ball bursts up out from the rumble when heat rod wraps around his neck. Pulling with chakra-infused arms throws Ball across the throne room. The king of Lemnos flies through a wall, crashing through several other rooms. He finally comes to a stop when he hits a fountain in the plaza. Breathing heavy, Ball grabs holds of the ledge, pulls himself up. The people of Lemnos watch as shock as their king is in the plaza's fountain. Naruto lands on the ground. He slowly walks towards Ball. Ball himself gets out of the fountain, trips over his own feet. The blonde steps on Ball's hand. Where is the anchor? Demands Naruto. That's what you're after. A shocked Ball asks. You aren't at full power. The only followers you have are the people of Lemnos. And with them seeing you panting, sweating, and bleeding, you are losing more power. You are growing weaker. Where is the anchor? Naruto asked once more. Go run to your whore of a mother, shouted Ball. With a strong uppercut, Ball hits the ground. Naruto grabs and rams Ball into the fountain. A strong left hook, right straight, left hook, knee to the face, haymaker. Grabbing the king of Lemnos's throat with his right hand, adding pressure as Naruto continues to beat Ball. When Ball called Hestia a whore, Naruto lost it. That is one thing he will never allow anyone to say. He doesn't care who you are, be a demigod, god, demon, or monster. Naruto always believed in mercy, but there shall be no mercy. Naruto made it his goal to find a way to kill a god, so that he may kill Ball. Ball forever will be marked by Uzumaki Naruto. The shinobi holds Ball under the water. The god of fertility claws at Naruto's arms, trying to breath, trying to get away. The punches start to burn and leave burn marks. The hand around Hi's neck burns through his skin and is working through his throat. The king of Lemnos is feeling something that he'd never felt before, fear. Fear was taking hold of him. The fear of death slowly, but surely gripping him. Seeing only one way out of this, Ball grabs his neck underneath his toga and crushes it. Black smoke comes out of Ball's mouth and eyes. Naruto lets go of the body that was once Ball's, looking down at the body in disgust. Run, Ball, for I will find you and end your very existence. I swear it on the river of Styx. Naruto swears darkly. The thunder rumbles through the skies. Naruto walks out of the fountain and leaves. He head towards the harbor, not looking at anyone and not caring what they do. He spent too much time on Lemnos. He has to find Clarice and help her on the quest. When Naruto arrived at the harbor, Lily Ann is waiting for him with a sailboat ready to go. "What are you doing here, Lily Ann?" asked Naruto. "I knew you would come here. So I get you a boat ready. I have food and water along with some clothes," says Lily Ann. Grinning, "Thanks, Lily Ann. And I kept my promise. You can now have children without the fear of missing out on their lives, and to see their children." "I don't know what to say, Naruto. You have helped us with this. There will be hard times ahead, but we will push through them." "I thank you. Think nothing of it. I did what was right. Now I must go and help my friends," says Naruto. The blonde gets in the sailboat. Lily Ann unties the ropes and pushes the boat off. Naruto waves to Lily Ann, knowing that she'll live to an old age. Just as the blonde sits down and sets course, Mio's jumps out from underneath the clothes, scaring Naruto. "What the hell?" Naruto shouts. "Meow." Naruto stares at the cat. The cat stares back at him. "You want to come along?" Naruto asks the stupid question. "Meow. I'll take that as a yes." Naruto deadpan. The boy and cat sail for hours under the hot sun, boredom set in only after 1 hour. It didn't help that Mio's tried to catch some fish, which he quit after almost falling overboard. Staring off into the distance for signs of land, the blonde felt like he was losing his mind. I hate doing nothing," shouted Naruto, just as he was about to close his eyes. The blonde see a plum of smoke in the distance. Setting course for the plum of smoke. What's the worst that could happen? As the sailboat got closer to the plum of smoke, an island came into view. Slowly buildings and other ships came into view as the blonde and cat gets closer. From what Naruto can make out, it looks like a spa resort. That's strange. Who would build a spa resort all the way out here? They mustn't get that many customers, thought Naruto. Screams snaps the son of Hestia out of his thought. Mio's begins to growl. Naruto picks up Mio's and jumps onto top of the water. He runs across the water, leaps up and lands on the dock. Mio's jumps out of his arms. Fire bursts out of him, transforming the cat into lion form. Naruto sees several men running around the spa resort wielding swords, chancing women. They look like pirates. He quickly tackles one and knocks him out. Mio's pounces on another pirate, biting down on his neck, ending his life. There was no need to kill him. Mio's just roared at Naruto before pounces on another pirate. What do we have here? Naruto turns to see this pirate was different from the others. He has a thick black beard and is wielding a cutlass. The guard for the cutlass is brass that curves to protect the hand from sword swings, and the blade is wider than a normal cutlass with a red tint to it. "Who are you?" Naruto asks as Epion folds out. "I be Blackbeard, and with how that shield came to be, ya must be demigod." "Which child are ya?" asks Blackbeard. "Hestia." "You?" asked back Naruto. "Son of Ares." Blackbeard didn't give Naruto time to say anything else. He blocks Blackbeard's sword swing. The blonde takes out his kunai, parry another sword swing, thrusts his kunai at Blackbeard's right arm. Edward knocks the blade away, grabs Naruto's vest and headbutts him. Blackbeard shouldn't have done that. There is one thing about Naruto, and that it is his skull is really thick. Edward cries out as Naruto falls to the dock. The blonde grabs a nearby sword and swings it at Thatch. Blackbeard easily blocks it and kicks Naruto across the docks. Naruto stands up and glares at the pirate. "You have a sword now. By the way you are holding it says that you prefer a shorter blade, most likely a knife." "Who trained you, boy?" asked Edward. Clarice, daughter of Ares, replied the blonde. Ah, the girl must be good from that stance you have. Show me what she taught ya. Thatch swings his sword while Naruto parries it. Slashing close to the blonde's left shoulder, he switches to his unarmed hand, confusing the blonde. Using the distraction to sucker punch Naruto in the stomach. Watch both hands, lad, shouted out Edward, taking a step back to block another sword swing. Thrust, block, parry, block. It became clear that Edward is a better swordsman. He uses his height, weight, and experience to his advantage. Naruto's hands are become numb for the shock of blocking Thatch's sword swings. The blonde starts to wonder if this is like all of Ares' children after years of war. But he notices that Blackbeard isn't outright killing him. It reminds him of how Clarice would teach him to wield a sword. Then it dawns onto the blonde that Blackbeard is teaching him in mid-fight. Your footwork ain't half bad. You can block and parry just fine, but how is your offense? Asks Edward. Naruto changes his footing and swings his sword at Blackbeard. He remembers what Clarice taught him to have some weight behind his swings and make sure to judge distances between each swing. Edward can see how the blonde is fighting and uses this to sucker punch Naruto again, causing him to drop to his knees. You need more training, lad. Thatch sticks his sword into the wood next to Naruto. Take that sword and become stronger, says Edward. Why are you giving me your sword? Asked Naruto. I don't know what history says about me, but I always look out for our kind. And ya don't have no sword. Take that sword and ya cat and leave, shouted Thatch as he turns and walks away. What about the island? Questioned Naruto. I take what I need and then I'll leave. You don't have to worry about the hostages. I don't like to spill needless blood. I wonder how the world has changed over the years, says Edward. Mio's changes back to his cat form. He walks over to Naruto and bit him. Ouch. Why'd you bite me? Shouted Naruto. Meow. Sighing. Let's go and find the others, says Naruto. He takes Thatch's sword. The blonde looks at the cutlass and is lost for words. The sword is made from celestial bronze and iron, giving the blade the power to kill monsters and mortals. The cutlass become brass knuckles. He puts the brass knuckles in his back pouch. With nothing allied to do, Naruto picks up Mio's, runs across the water. He gets back in his sailboat and set course once more. Night came soon after Naruto set sail. Sometime during the night, he sails past an island with a smoking volcano with lava going down its side. Sailing around the island a good distance, Naruto continues onward. Mist slowly starts to build up over the sea. Just beyond the mist is an island. The son of Hestia sails around the rock. There are old ships that weren't so lucky. There was an eerie silence as the mist becomes thicker. Then the most beautiful music hits Naruto's ears. The bow tie causes the blonde to set course for the island. With the beautiful music playing, images appear in Naruto's mind. Naruto sees himself back in Konoha, standing up on top of the Hokage monument. His face is carved next to Tsunade's face. He is wearing the Hokage robes, showing that he has finally become the Hokage that he always dreamed to become. No, roars the Kyuubi. The image shatters like glass, switching to Camp Half-Blood. The camp is back to normal with Talia's tree being health once again. Campers are running around having fun doing different camp activates. Chiron is teaching Archer. Clarice teaching some of the campers how to properly throw a spear. Connor and Travis are getting in trouble by Katie. No, roars the Kyuubi once more. The image shatters like glass, switching to a hill. Up on top of the hill stands a woman with two children, a boy and a girl standing beside her. Their faces are blurred out. Naruto can hear them call out his name, calling for him to come over. No, roars the Kyuubi for the third time. This time Naruto snaps out of the illusion. He is staring at what created the illusion, showing him what he wanted the most, the sirens. The dream of finally becoming Hokage. To see the camp back to normal, and finally to have a family. How dare you? Naruto quietly says. Epion folds out and heat rod extends out. The chain whip becomes bright red. Naruto channels more of his chakra into heat rod that the chain whip burst into flame, giving him a flame whip. The sirens hiss and caw at him. The sirens take to the skies. Stay, says Naruto in an eerie voice that echoes. You will stay on the ground. The sirens do as they are told. He slowly walked towards them. Stalking towards them, Everything seems to slow down as he thrusts his chain whip at one of the sirens, killing it. The other sirens take off. "Stay on the ground," commands Naruto. The sirens once again do as they are told. Heat rod wraps around a siren and burns it to death. Naruto continues to kill the sirens. Thus, ends the sirens once and for all. For this day forth the sirens never sang any songs again. For this is the day that Naruto became known as the Siren Slayer. The end. Remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.